ないといいなみんな位置について現場は静かに静かに揺れないといいなみんな位置について現場は静かに静かに Hey, I said quiet. You light up the city sky, shining bright like a supernova. Your love is a force of mine, making my heart race like a motor. Chains can't hold me down, with a flick I'll break free. Every villain in this town better step back and let us be. Don't feel calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. Searching through the neon glow, my heart burns like a fire. I'll melt the shadows, you know, with the love that never tires. We're gone on a quest to protect what we cherish, but don't lose sight of our best. In the dawn, let our worries perish. Don't feel calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. No force can shatter the peace we have found. Our bond is like a tether, stronger with each challenge. Don't feel calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. On this journey we defend our love strong and bright. Bring back the joy, my friend, let's ignite the night. Don't feel calling, don't be shy. It's happy hour, and here's why. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Your love's a shockwave, making hearts beat faster. Whoa, 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 my heart's in overdrive. I wonder if Josh is gonna make this time.
Yeah, yeah. It's your boy Big Color. What's up? Mama for life. Mama blowing fools away. Mama reading green every day. Mama top banana sway. Mama totally leads the way. Donald Trump, yeah, he's the top banana king. Mama vibes up them yellow banner swing. In the world of bananas, he's the goat with the zest. Banana force and orbit, never second best. Mining for potassium, riches we stack. Banana Republic, got the juice, that's a fact. Old man bandana, you old and browned out. Donana stays based and lit, no doubt. Mama blowing fools away. Mama raining green every day. Mama top banana sway. Mama don't lead the way. Banana towers rise, touching sky so high. Yellow brick roads, Donana's got the fly. Building up the nation with banana salutations. Every peel pristine in his administration. Banana force launched beyond the banana trees. Donana's vision clear, aiming for the galaxy. Oh my bandana, your peel's losing grip. Donana's golden, never gonna slip.
Yeah, it's over with. Surprise. I don't know. Make America bananas again. Speaking of bananas, apparently Toho has promised to treat My Hero Academia real nice. To tell us about that is Nerdigans. Hello. You're muted. She doesn't know she's muted. I don't think she knows she's muted.
Hi,
There.
sorry. Hopefully, I got a fuzzy kitty here on my lap. I'm hoping he's gonna stay calm now. But so over the weekend it was Anime Expo, and at Toho's panel, the president announced that the new My Hero Academia movie that's coming out year next, and that's coming out in August, is coming to the US not next year. No, it's coming out in a couple months after it premieres in Japan, which is rare nowadays. Usually we have to wait months for some reason, but not. And the president said, what he said really stood out to me. He said, because of all the fans, the Godzilla fans that came out and went to the movies to watch Godzilla Minus One. Quiet, kitty. He said that that's why he wants to bring My Hero Academia to the box office. I'm hoping that means, because based on what he said, I think it's going to be like back in the day when, you know, we were growing up, when we had the full scale marketing and the promotions, like the toys at fast food restaurants and the buckets and everything. I think we're going to get the promotion.
To be fair, that was for Pokemon and Digimon, which were gigantic children's properties at the time. I'm not sure that My Hero Academia controls.
But you have, but the thing is, though, and I realized this too earlier, you have this whole thing going on with Deadpool.
Oh yeah,
All Might was in Deadpool Samurai. You could do a cross promotion with Boku no Hero Academia and Deadpool. Oh no, Kitty! No, Kitty! Why now? But
yeah, Horikoshi was over the moon about that, by the way. Like, Deadpool is not his favorite, but one of his
favorites. That's it too. That's Boku no Hero Academia came from Marvel. It was inspired by Marvel. You could do a whole cross promotion with Marvel. Why they haven't done it, I don't know. Why they haven't done it up till now, I don't know. They could have done
we know why.
Spider-Man too, like a while ago.
We know why. It's because Disney wants to push a message, and the Japanese understand that that's seppuku. Sudoku.
Well, yeah, but no, they actually did it in Japan with Spider-Man Octopus Girl when the Marvels came out. They actually had a chapter done, or it was the first chapter, I believe. It was either the first chapter of Spider-Man Octopus Girl. They did it, and then there was like a special promo chapter for the Marvels. They did like a promotional chapter too. So it's like, it's done in Japan, but it could be done here too, and it would be such a great cross promotional thing. But will it be done? Will Toho put out the money to do it? Will Viz do it? Viz will probably do it. I think it's just all on Marvel at this point.
Well, you know, they can't push their Marvel through they can't push their message through the Japanese. They've rejected it with the ESG stuff. But we do have good news about what is coming out of Japan. Thanks to Crunchyroll, we have the Anime Expo, everything announced.
Well, hold on a second. Let me get the kitty before he knocks over my TV again. Hold on.
Well, while that's going on, we'll say hello to everybody in the chat. Nerdigans is taming her panther right now. So, hello, Leslye Tarkin. She says, hail to all you lovely people. And we've got RJ McReady here saying, make America bananas again. Yeah, hopefully that'll stick around and I won't get a message from corporate to never play it again. We'll find out. We have Film Watcher 96 here saying, "Aw, with the kitty, yeah, very dangerous. Apparently, a PS5 killing kitty."
My kitty is a sneaky kitty. I'm hoping that catnip on his new kitty board is going to keep him calm. It was earlier, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming from Crunchyroll. The thing that stood out the most to me was the final season of Fire Force, because for those of you that don't know, Okubo, the creator of Fire Force, his successor is the mangaka of Gachiakuta, and Gachiakuta has an anime now too, and that one is coming in 2025, and the first part of Fire Force's final season is in 2025, and I just think it would be so awesome if both Fire Force and Gachiakuta came out at the same time. If they were, simulcasting at the same time, that would be so amazing. They would be so, oh my god, just think about it. Both of them sitting together, master and apprentice, just watching their anime together. That would be such a treat.
One of the things that was interesting to come out was yet another installment of Cells at Work.
Yes.
I'm really glad to hear that. It was very cute, so I'm glad that that's coming back.
Which Cells at Work is coming?
I'm not sure. We'll have to wait to find out, Jen. So.
But yeah, well, there's Dr. Stone as well. Of course, Dr. Stone is coming, because they didn't finish up adapting the manga.
What a surprise. Yeah, the Demon Lord retry R. Yeah, I've seen a lot of this on Twitter. This apparently has a pretty big fan base. So.
Yes, it does.
Yep. They're very excited about this coming out. So if you don't know, guys, Demon Lord R, Akira Ono finds himself in the world of the Infinity game as the last boss and his favorite character, the Demon Lord Hakuto Kunai. After meeting Aku, the shape-shifting master of evil.
Yes. Aku has
Luna,
come back.
Luna and other friends along the way, the Demon Lord begins a new journey to find a spell that can take him back to the real world. The story of the Demon Lord continues in this next chapter. So there we go, guys. This fall, that's getting an anime now. Sounds an awful lot like Overlord, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But
And then-
again, that's how anime works, guys. Something sounds cool, 10 other anime pop up, manga anime pop up just like it.
Well, yeah, and especially since a good chunk of manga, has ended or is ending this year. Like next month, for example, Twin Star Exorcist is ending next month, and that's been going on for 10 years.
We'll talk about that dive in the anime market a little later too, but we'll move on to the next one coming out here. Now, I want to stick to the stuff that is a little less boy lovey. So if you get the sense like this kind of looks a little boy lovey. So
yeah, there's a lot of actually, now that we're talking about that, this is a good segue into this. In a way, for those of you that don't know about the reasoning behind Crunchyroll's comment section getting shut down, that's because apparently some really nasty trolls were in some in one of the animes, one of the yaoi animes comment section, and also in oh my god, Senpai is in Tokonoko's comment section, and they were posting like some really nasty homophobic comments. And I'm not saying it just to say it. No, they were really, they were just like straight up homophobic, and they shut it down.
Pushing the envelope, yeah.
Was it stupid to just shut it down? Yeah, I think they were looking for an excuse to shut it down, in all honesty.
That sounds an awful lot like that, yeah.
Yeah, they're just using that as an excuse to shut it down.
Yep, and that's so if you don't know, this is why Crunchyroll, if you're just tuning in, this is why Crunchyroll has suspended user-generated content, meaning there won't be user reviews anymore, and there won't be user comments anymore. Now, as Nerdigans just explained, it was because of some radical comments that were made in their reply section to boy love, gay man anime they had listed there. And of course, that's a no-no, as you know. Can't say things about that, which, again, when it comes to anime, why bother? I mean, if you're into anime, you know that there's like a massive and very powerful fan base of women who enjoy gay dudes. Yeah.
You do not fuck with Fujoshis. They are a scary bunch, and Fujoshis can make or break your fandom. I mean, Kagurabachi, for example, Fujoshis, like Baki Bros will tell you, Fujoshis saved Kagurabachi. Like, they brought it up. But Natsume's, if you have not, now that's up here. If you have not watched, or if you haven't read Natsume's Book of Friends, you should. It is it's beautiful manga. But the anime, it does the manga justice. For the most part. I've on my channel, I actually covered season 6 because that's how I got into into the manga. That's how I covered anime, was binge read the manga first and then get into the anime and cover that. And I covered season 6, and season 6 was beautiful. So I strongly recommend Natsume's Book of Friends. It's very, very beautiful. It's a beautiful slice of life supernatural series. Where Natsume gets to know his grandma as he's finding these demons' names, and it's just so good.
Right. So this is the synopsis of it. Now, granted, this is season 7, so it's a ways to go to get caught up with the current. But it says Natsume Takashi has the ability to see spirits, which he has long kept a secret. However, once he inherits a strange book that once belonged to his deceased grandmother, Reiko, he discovers the reason why spirits surround him. Yeah. Sounds like the Ghost Whisperer.
It is. And the thing, as I said, like when you get more and more into it and you see, there's a part in the manga where you get to know what happened with how his grandma like came into contact with spirits and how she made the book and stuff like that. And it's so good. Yeah. The art is beautiful in the manga too. Oh my God, it's good. But I thought there was more because they did announce like Fire Force and stuff as well at the panel. So that's why I'm like, where is it?
That's weird.
maybe scroll back up and maybe it will show up there. But yeah, because I know Blue Lock season 2 was announced. Yeah, see, there's Blue Lock season 2, Dr. Stone.
They broke
Fire
it off
Force.
into separate articles. That's what
Yeah, but yeah, Blue Lock season 2 was announced. Blue Lock, or the trailer. I'm sorry, it was a new trailer because season 2 is coming out, I believe, this fall. The fall is really stacked. It's really, really, really stacked.
What a surprise!
More anime seasons have just been getting stacked. Yeah, Blue Lock is going to be good. It's going to be the next round of selections for Blue Lock in terms of adaptations. From what I know is that the manga artist for Blue Lock actually supervises the art and animation, and has actually been the animation director for a few episodes. So if you want to know why the animation is good, that's why. But yeah, it's really, really good if you've not watched it. I still think Bungo is like the pinnacle of modern sports manga, but Blue Lock is up there too.
Right, and so that's what this is also one that's capturing the West too. Over here in the USA, it's a very popular story. We're not even that big on soccer here, but again, the Japanese just have a knack for taking things that are otherwise mundane and turning them into life or death situations.
Well, that's why I bring up Bungo. Bungo, like, we're getting more baseball manga, which is great, but I have to check out the other ones that are out because there's like 2 more. But the ongoing one that's just fantastic, and it hasn't gotten a license yet here in the US, is Bungo. And it's right now it's almost like 400 chapters now, I believe. But yeah, we're in the middle school championship arc, and then we're going to go into the high school arc. But if you've read or watched Diamond No Ace, Bungo, in terms of the art, is what Diamond No Ace should have been. It is so beautiful, that art. It is just another level what the mangaka does there. Oh my God, Kitty, why are you doing this right now? But I'll take care of you in a second. But Fire Force, as I said, Fire Force is doing a split quarterfinal season. I'm really surprised about this, and I'm also kind of concerned because there is content in the final arc that I really wanted to see the anime explore. Because yeah, there's loopholes, including specifically who the father of Shimura and Sho are. I was hoping we would get a little bit more with that, but I guess we're not going to. It's the same thing with Haikyuu. Haikyuu, we're not getting it, and Kimetsu no Yaiba, we're not getting it either. I'm really annoyed by this. It just, why? Why are we not getting this? I do not know.
Well, what we are getting is the Yakuza's Fiance. And I have seen this one talked about a lot by dudes and ladies. So I'm guessing this is a very popular romance story?
Yeah, from what I heard, it is.
Says Some Renji is Some Yoshino's grandfather and leader of Some Group and the Kansai region's biggest Yakuza group. When he arranges for her to be married to Miyama Kirishima, Yoshino has to move to the Miyama clan estate, the Kanto region's biggest Yakuza group. Kirishima warmly welcomes Yoshino I know how to read, believe me, and is such a pleasant, personable, and nice young man that nobody would suspect he comes from a Yakuza family. This puts Yoshino at ease, even though she was initially feeling insecure about this unfamiliar place. So what we have is a Romeo and Juliet story.
Yeah, there's a lot of Yakuza series lately.
Because the Yakuza aren't any power anymore. There's like 6,000 of them left now out of like, I think when they were like really a big thing in anime, when they were talking about them, that was like the mid 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
And they were up at like 100,000 members then. But the police have just been chipping away at their gambling stuff and whittled them down to about 6,000 now.
Well, I mean, now there's series like, well, obviously there's more Yakuza series, but there's series now that's one that started that I really, really like, and I strongly recommend. It's a Manga Plus exclusive. Is called Drunk Bullet, and it's set in the U.S. during the Prohibition era, and it's kind of like think of it like this: it's Golden Kamuy meets Rurouni Kenshin, where the main character Gary comes back from war, and it's the start of Prohibition. All he wants is a drink. So he's traveling around the country to get a drink. He had to leave New York because he got chased out by gangsters because he whooped a gangster's ass because he tried to screw over a bar. And then he's in Chicago right now, and he's met Al Capone. And Al Capone looks really hot. It's weird. But yeah, he's about to... it looked like Al Capone is giving very much Sanosuke energy. That's what Al Capone is giving. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens this week, because it's going to either be where Al Capone becomes like the final boss kind of situation, or if Al Capone joins them on the journey or not. Because I can't wait to find out what to do with this.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those two things. But yeah, he's traveling around the country tasting like the greatest booze. That's what he wants. That's why I'm like, yeah, it's giving very Golden Kamuy meets Rurouni Kenshin in a way, because he doesn't kill either. He won't kill because he killed all those people in Europe. So, but yeah. Sorry, because you mentioned you're talking about Yakuza and stuff like that, and I thought of Drunk Bullet.
Well, speaking of the finest boobs, wait, you said booze.
Booze. I said booze, but yeah, you're talking about boobs now.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, yes. So, for those of you that don't know what's been happening, I've been covering it. There's a cosplay manga called 2.5D Seduction, and basically what that is, it's basically my dress up darling, but lewder and more cosplay focused.
Lewd.
It's very, very lewd. And Kitty, stop being... No, Kitty, stop. So basically what happened in the first episode is obviously, as you see here, Lisa's titties are gone. And JC staff, who I don't know why got this anime in the first place, they shouldn't have, because the art is beautiful. They are censoring it down. They did not... Why this didn't get like the gushing over magical girls treatment, I have no idea why, because this is an ecchi series. When I say ecchi, this is like really, really ecchi. We're talking about like groping. We're talking about like full, like, we're talking about nudity. Like, it's insane why this manga didn't get the treatment. It's just so baffling. And what makes things worse is the notorious Katrina Lewandowski is localizing it.
That one.
But like the timing of this was interesting because of the chapter that came out this past week for 2.5D Seduction was about, manga anime adaptations. But yeah, there's Katrina's post about it. I just couldn't believe it. But based on what I saw though with the latest episode preview, it seems like Lisa's getting her boobs back. But like, I mean, look at that. It's extra coverage, and it's the same thing on because that's Miura. On Miura's other costumes. Like, people are pissed about it.
Yeah, and well, again, I mean, you told us earlier this year that Japan itself, because by and large the USA spends more money on anime than China. China may have more people buying anime, if you will, per body, but the US spends more money.
From what I know is China is the reason why more anime is getting made because of distribution, from what I understand.
But we have such strong censor and very
China's way more strong.
We have some very mixed ideas about this. So as you let us know that the anime companies themselves were going to begin censoring from the get-go. They weren't going to be told to censor. They were going to do it themselves.
But the thing is, though, there's people have talked about this too. The thing is, though, is that in terms of censorship, you're going to get some censorship because, well, there's broadcast regulations, and there's also they want to sell Blu-rays, uncensored Blu-rays. But the problem is the way it's censored, and JC staff did this with Eden Zero as well, is it looks like they're not going to have the Blu-rays uncensored either. God damn it, Kat, you really have to do this right now.
Yeah, you're live.
My freaking kitty. Oh my God. What do you want, Kat?
Attention right now, because you're busy.
God, hold on. I got to grab him.
So as you can see, there's anime boobs on the screen, right? And so this whole show is about that. And so as it falls into this new realm of where Japan's going to self-censor, you're going to see things that in the manga is like, as we saw in the examples, which I'm a little hesitant to highlight here because I'm not sure what we're going to get out of this. Yeah, okay. I think that's okay. We'll wait and find out. You let us know if the stream gets taken down. But as
Okay.
you can see, this
Yeah.
is different from how the anime is presenting these characters, and this is because the anime studios themselves
Well, I
have
also think that's
admitted to.
localization, but yeah,
Well,
it's because these characters are very that they're cosplaying are from more erotic series. Like this character, the character that Mayura's cosplaying is Leslye. There we go, and she's from like from a fighting game called Vampire Hunters, a fictional one, and it's very very erotic, and that character is very significant because that's her signature character. So just seeing that censored really bothered me.
well, I
It
mean,
bothered everybody too, because that and also something that they're doing is they're not even showing like they cut like the majority of the erotic scenes from the manga. So it's like it just baffles me because as I said with Gushing Over Magical Girls on ATX, the less censored version. You had all the lewd stuff up in there. You had the Yuri scenes and everything. Because this had, just like Gushing Over Magical Girls, this has a lot of Yuri stuff up in here. It does. Eventually, later on in the manga, you do get an official like Yuri ship. But like, it's just insane to me that you're adapting like one of the most this is like borderline hentai at times. It is. I'm not gonna lie, but why adapt this if you're gonna censor it?
well,
Yeah, Kitty.
well, they do that not just because of that, but again, it's in order to satisfy a greater market, and that's what the whole goal is to make sure that they can reach a
I'm
wider
spending like
market.
as I posted here, I'm spending like 5 hours doing these live reactions that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And because of Patreon, I don't have to worry about worry about copyright strikes. I'm doing it there now.
Yeah.
So I have the first episode of 2.5D Seduction up for free. The rest, if you want to watch them, it's $5 a month because I can't do it all for free. I just can't. There's no way. Especially like when I'm like the only person probably doing it as detailed as I am.
Well, we do have Caffeinated Wolf here saying Spencer is gay. He'll be here a little later, so if you want to let him know that, he'll be here a little later. We also have Barbaric Ape Production saying, hello, how's life? Hope all is well. Hey, we're all still alive. Zeno might not be by the end of the stream, though, if he keeps it up. And we have member of the channel, Dante Auric, saying, happy Odin's Day, mortals, with the cheers emoji.
Hopefully it's not 106 degrees where you're at and you're not dealing with a fussy cat like I am.
Mitch Ryan's here, and he says censoring the wrong things, and that's true, because it's actually starting to reflect on the greater anime market, as Spencer reported a little earlier yesterday about this, as Western Industry Insider warns the anime content bubble is probably going to burst soon. Merch sales have fallen off a cliff.
Where? Where has it fallen? Where though? Because France is still buying like crazy. That's the biggest market outside of Japan. The U.S. Where? Where's the marketing? That's probably the bubble you're talking. If any, that's probably the bubble he's talking about. There's no marketing. How is there going to be any purchases of goods when there's no marketing? The other thing is that because of botched localizations that have been happening, what Otaku have been doing now are saying screw the English releases. We're just gonna buy it straight from Japan, and that goes for Japanese video games too. And yeah, it's Japanese manga, anime, and video games. They're just buying it from Japan now. They're tired of it. That's what's been happening. People are learning Japanese and saying screw it. So if he's just talking about the Western market, like specifically in the US, that's probably why you're getting a quote unquote bubble, because there's nothing. You're not getting anything from in terms of marketing or well, as I said, people are freaking tired of the of the botched localizations. They're just importing, or they're pirating. So,
well, I don't know about no marketing. They got the Vegas ball, remember?
well,
Right?
that's for One Piece, but that's not, that is barely, that's just One Piece though. Where's the stuff for, like, say, Spy Family? Where's the Haikyuu? I will say this though, they did a little something for Haikyuu, mind you, but where's the stuff for Gundam? Where's the stuff for, like, all these other for Slam Dunk? Where's the stuff for Ghost in the Shell? Like, where is all this marketing? Where is
Well,
it?
what he's referring to, and I'll just skip down to it. I'll never forgive Horikoshi for this, by the way, but we'll skip down to it. And what he's referring to is this fella's explaining
Oh,
that he
screw you,
says,
Justin Servakis. Oh, I will never forgive that fucker. I'm sorry. I won't.
did he take you out to dinner and not call you? Or?
No, he's the one responsible for Lovely Complex getting botched by Jello Apocalypse.
That explains it. Anime content bubble is probably going to burst soon. Way too many shows, and nobody can handle it. Not fans nor the industry. Anime merch sales have fallen off a cliff, especially figures. Everyone's kind of uh-oh. And he explains what he's looking at, and he's referring to specifically is the post-COVID like explosion that happened here. It's there it is. High inflation. You could take that from where it comes from. You know, people will spend on luxuries like entertainment, regardless
But
if they have
again-
the money or not.
But
So-
again, is he just talking about the US, or is he talking about worldwide? Because if he's just
Well-
talking about the US, that's a whole different story than talking about, like, say Europe or Latin America.
Well, I think what he's explaining is that during COVID, lots and lots of people were absorbing anime content.
Yeah, I agree
we had
with
about
that.
we had about a year and a half of it here in the U.S. and other countries locked down earlier than we did.
Yes.
So there was about 2 years where people were pretty much unable to absorb content and make their own content. So they were getting anime coming in. And I think that's what he's referring to here is that now that people are like back to work and indulging in other activities like, you know, just outdoor performance, all the other jazz, they're not absorbing anime at the rate that they were. And that's the drop off. It's not that these people have left the market, it's their consumption is returned to worker level, you know, now that they're not trapped at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand what he's talking about, but at the same time, as I said, if you're just talking about the US, that's one thing. But if you're talking about, like, the Western market as a whole, that's a completely different story. Because even prior to COVID, France was still, like, France and Europe, Western Europe and Latin America still had a larger market for anime and manga than the US.
Well, Mitch Ryan says, I haven't watched One Piece. I heard the Straw Hats are Marxists.
Oh, God. Whoever's saying that is full of crap and did not read or watched the series.
Well, no, I get where people get that because Luffy's kind of anti-profit, I guess. You know, he's not a money-driven pirate, if you will.
Nami
so-
is, though.
Right. And so where this kind of where I think people are misinterpreting this is the Straw Hats are anti-abuse.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of government or economic practice you're going about, but if you're abusing people and that's a mechanism of it, they're going to destroy it. That's what they do. Luffy has the same birthday as Karl Marx.
Who cares?
I don't know if was on purpose. Doesn't appear to be. I don't think Oda's ever said anything about
Oda's
communism,
never
has he?
said anything about that. Oda just doesn't care about this kind of stuff. Well, politically, he might care about it, like, outside of One Piece, maybe. But no, there's nothing like that going on here. Is there political oppression? Yeah, definitely. But are we talking about Luffy being a communist? No, Luffy is not a communist. If anything, you want to make an argument about who's a communist, that would be the world government. They are the ones that are the authoritarian. Actually, they're more authoritarian than anything else. You want to make an argument.
You know, communism, authoritarian kind of goes with it. And it's like I started watching a video from someone I never saw before, but I turned it off once I realized his politics. Yeah, that
that's
happened.
that's bait.
What I wanna explain about this is that he is a liberal socialist. Oda in real life is a liberal socialist.
Yeah,
However, in Japan, the Communist Party has a very, very, very bad reputation and is
they do.
currently trying to censor anime, which Oda has been against, I think, before he even became a published author, a
Yes.
mangaka. And so, what his stance is basically like this Japanese government, but a bit more liberal, if you will. He wants the government to be in more control, basically, more control over the pitfalls in life. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the shut-ins are.
Code needs.
Hikikomori, the Hikikomori, where they are the shut-ins, the people, the
Yeah.
6.5 million Japanese men that don't go outside.
Yeah.
He wants the government to have a more proactive role in that and to have more control in that mechanism. Do I think that's good? No, I don't. But I think that Luffy having the same birthday as Karl Marx is entirely a coincidence. I Because again, Japan doesn't. They hate that there. Communism in Japan is
They hate it because of the CCP. They hate that stuff.
not only that, but that party has been counter to Japanese tradition since it showed up. That's why the guy that was the party leader got taken care of, is because that was so counter to Japanese culture. And I don't think the corporations would elevate a communist either. That's the other thing. It's
No,
such a
they would
toxic
not.
thing in
Oh
Japan.
hell no, they would
I
not do that.
Even if he was a great creator, I'm especially Shueisha.
No.
So much of their like stock as a company is tied up in One Piece. I can't imagine a communist being like the one glass slipper in all of that. I can't. So that's basically what it is. Is he's more in line with the Japanese government than like you and I would be. You know?
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I just the thing is I don't take what Savaka says at like face value.
oh yeah, this guy, yeah.
I just don't trust him after
Sure.
all the crap he did. Like it was just shit. So how the thing is when everything went down with Lovely Complex, like it really exposed how shady things were at Discotheque. So it's like I kind of have to take what he says at face value. But like I understand, but he is kind of right in terms of
The
of
drawdown.
COVID and all that. Like I understand what he's saying about that, but at the same time, he's not taking into account the piracy that's happening. He's not taking into account that that fans are importing Japanese media because they don't want to have a botched localization. That's the other that's the other factor that needs to come into play as well. That's a going to play into the Western bubble. Well, I should say the American bubble more than the European bubble.
I guess. I mean, that's really, then, as you know, guys, we talk about this a lot here when we talk about weeb stuff. There's a great deal of protectionism in American media to shut out Japanese media. So
I'm really hoping with what's happening with what Toho's doing is going to be like the gateway into getting more anime movies and Japanese content into theaters and actually have like a long theatrical runs again. Because right now they're getting treated like crap. I mean, I'm not talking about like just little properties either. I'm talking about like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. I'm talking about Haikyuu. I'm talking about Spy Family barely got anything.
How about Bleach? Like that
I'm
was
so
one
excited for Bleach.
that was a
my God, you have
huge
no
one when we were
idea.
coming up though.
I have been waiting an eternity for this.
Well, yeah, but see, this is for you and I. We grew up with Bleach in the background. This was one of the ones that was a smash hit. It was considered the big three. It was
Yeah.
considered part of the big three. Was Bleach just arrived one day, right? There was Dragon Ball and Hunter x Hunter, and the third one.
Well, no, what it is, it was what in terms of manga at the time. It was One
right.
Piece, Bleach, and Naruto. Those are the three.
Right.
But
And
the thing is with Bleach and why this core specifically is so, and core 4 too, but this one especially is so significant is because this is the start of where a lot of the content that was going to be in the manga that got cut out because of Kubo's health is coming into play. because we're gonna get Shinsui's Bankai in here. We're gonna see Mayuri's Bankai. We're gonna see Grimjaw is coming here, and Nell's coming in here. So and also we're getting Aizen in his chair. So yes, Chair Sama is coming. I'm so excited for this. They better not mess this up. Seriously, I will be so mad if the content here gets messed up. They've been working with Kubo like really closely with this. So, oh my god, I'm so ready for this. When I saw this in the trailer, I lost my mind. I was so happy because it confirmed that the Bankai was coming. Oh
Right.
gosh.
And so this is another thing to it. Well, we've got him right here. We got to pause for just a second here. We have hey, it's me in HD. It says, hey, anywhere from Eccentric Banana. We're both in the same town and just went through Hurricane Burial. So yeah, just got his power back. So yeah, welcome back to Civilization. And no, I haven't heard from Eccentric. Maybe he's on a different block and they haven't hooked him back up yet. But
I'm sorry that Queen Beryl is destroying you down there.
Yeah. Sailor Moon a little late to the fix there, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh though. And I know this is a tragic time and it's, you've been through quite a bit, but I'm gonna laugh if one of the rescue workers dresses up like Sailor Moon.
I will too.
I'm gonna laugh.
Or King Endymion too. That would be, or Prince Endymion. That'd be really pretty hilarious. But yeah, this is gonna be the time where you should have read Bleach by now. This is going to be where Bach, the Soul King, is killed. Bach absorbs the soul powers of the Soul King, and and then our boy Aizen comes with Chair Sama. Oh, if you are on Twitter, you will see the cult of Chair Sama come out. They were going wild when Aizen came back and his chair just destroyed the reishi. It was just amazing at the time. You had to be there. Oh god, it was so much fun back in the day.
The Soul King was such a letdown, though. I think that's really ultimately gonna kill this, unless they went back to Kubo and said, "Man, we gotta do something about this. That can't be the Soul King."
Well, Kubo worked closely with this. He's doing the writing. He's working on the writing directly with the production team.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I mean, is that the anime's gotta be, the guys in the anime have to be like, we can't do that. That's I'm so sorry. When he showed that, when that was the Soul King, I was like, you're kidding me.
The Soul King
absolutely
the design was there for the Soul King. It was there. I remember seeing it. But the thing I'm very curious how they're gonna
disappointed.
I know, but the thing that I'm curious how they're gonna what they're gonna do is incorporate because remember Ichigo, we found out he was the vessel for the Soul King. We got that confirmation. I can't wait to see how that is incorporated into everything. That's going to be high volume dealer. That's going to be very, very interesting, especially when again, you should have read Bleach. If you haven't, that is your problem. Especially when Ichigo is the one to deliver the blow to the Soul King. That will be very interesting to see how that's executed. If anything changes with that.
I just hope that they change the Soul King into something different. Let's put it that way. I hope that they make him into something different. At the very least, so we can communicate, because that was very.
I think we might get something like that if he communicates via
spoilers.
Ichigo, when Ichigo accidentally kills the Soul King. I think that would make sense.
But accidentally, when you find out what happened to the Soul King, it's like, yeah, no, that wasn't an accident. That was mercy. That was like, thank you, Ichigo, for putting me out of my horrible, agonizing existence.
Well, then there's also the other way we could see communicate with the Soul King too is Ukitake. Because remember, we're going to see Ukitake become the right arm of the Soul King. Oh, God, that's going to be so interesting to see what they do with Ukitake's content.
I really hope that they don't rush to make Power Ranger memes out of this, but it's the temptation is there.
Well, there's the this is why I'm excited for the Mayuri content too, because we have Mayuri versus Perdita.
That's true.
Who's the other arm of the Soul King. So that's going to be so good. And the Mayuri Nemu content is going to be so sad. Oh, man. But I know everyone's going to lose their mind over seeing Grimjaw back, over seeing Nell back. But that fight, though, when we see Grimjaw and Nell get into that fight, because remember, we didn't get to see it because of Kubo's health and he had to rush it.
That's right.
Oh, that content right there is what I think everyone has been looking forward to, is that specifically, is what happened after everything went down.
Well,
Kitty,
guess what? Well, guess what? When it does happen, people on Crunchyroll won't be able to talk about it.
Yep. We briefly talked about this, that Crunchyroll shut down the comment section. I'd say what's happening on my anime list in their forums are a lot worse than what's happening with Crunchyroll. But they're saying the harmful content, I understand to an extent because of it was homophobic. Like, it wasn't like what SJWs would say in terms of like a cry wolf situation. No, this was homophobic. It was legit homophobic. But I feel like part of me is like feeling like, yeah, I feel like that Crunchyroll's been wanting to do this for a while, and this was just like an excuse to do it.
Yeah, this is definitely a vehicle for it, because just listen to this: reduce harmful content. That's called a moderator. That's what a moderator is for. Yeah.
Oh God, Kitty, why are you being a fat kitty?
Not only this, but they wiped out reviews. That's the other thing that bothers me.
There's also something, a moderator could use a block button, which is what Sony decided to implement for PlayStation. I was so happy to see that today.
Had to have a PSN account in order to play Helldivers when you got it through Steam, not through PlayStation. Brilliant. Brilliant work. Brilliant. Yeah, it's true. It only ever goes one way, right? It only ever goes one way. They never take the restrictions off. They always just put more on. You're right. Yeah. Well, that's just what it is that Sony's decided to remove reviews too. And what this tells me is that they were getting reviews on contracts that they needed to protect. So somebody somewhere in the process of getting a Crunchyroll contract said, no negative reviews are allowed to be published in relationship to our product. And that is likely what led to some of this. The other thing is that let's say that the moderator's a little slow and someone says KYS to a fellow who is feeling quite soft at the moment, and he does take such an action. Crunchyroll can face some trouble for being a platform that facilitated that interaction. Yeah. And that's the cyberbullying laws that are going up around the country now that make it even more difficult to speak your mind on the internet. So while I don't like what they've done here, I think
it's understandable what they did.
Correct. I think that the community of Crunchyroll will be able to relocate comfortably to Reddit. They'll be very happy.
Or My Anime List or Tumblr.
Right. I would say that Sony is too westernized, but they're also too Koreanized. If I'm completely honest with you, you want to talk about censorship, the Koreans are pretty heavy on it.
Yeah, they're a lot more pro-censorship than...
and they're way more woke than you'd ever give them credit for, by the way.
Oh, yes, they are.
Way more woke. Like, they have a whole sub-genre of entertainment now dedicated to cuckoldry entertainment. Like, every genre of entertainment you can think of now gets a bucket load of cuckoldry poured on top of it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a whole thing over there now, as if their birth rate wasn't bad enough. You know, almost 50% of their population lives in Seoul. They've not meet replacement rate. Japan has a higher replacement rate than South Korea now.
That's sad.
And then what did they do? They introduce cuckoldry into mainstream media. That'll fix everything, guys. Everything. But that's why is Marxism taking over the world? Very simply put, it's because the US is promoting it. Very simply. We are the cultural exporters of the world. Whatever the US likes, the rest of the world will like within 5 years. And that's what it is we are shoving this down their throats, whether they like it or not. And kicking and screaming, they're coming along. So, and that's what it is. That's why Marxism is taking over the world, because the US is exporting it now. That's just the flat fact of it. Maybe that'll change in the next election, Well, Mitch, we do though. I mean, look at what Marvel's doing. Marvel is just pure Marxist hand guide, left, right, upside down. MCU is full of it. The DCU is full of it. The comics are, the video games we put out. We fight a battle almost every week here
Well, the
about the
video
new
games are
video
not
games
selling
coming
very
out.
well. I mean,
Right.
look what's happening.
But
I
this
think
is
people,
what we're
I
exporting.
think people are well, minus France because of what happened over there with the LARPer election. Oh my god, I can't believe they elected someone from Antifa. I still can't believe that.
Well, there's a lot of questionable things happening in that election right now.
A lot of questionable LARPing happening in that election, but Antifa LARPers are just going to LARP. So, and
that's
like
just it. We're not Marxist as a country.
No.
Our media is trying to change that, and our government's trying to change that. But as a people, we resist this idea. However, this is what the majority of our culture being exported to the world is now. What goes out into the world from the United States is not mom, dad, the nuclear family anymore. It's the half-shaved, lesbian-headed villainesses of intermingled racial status living their best life, man-free, kid-free, responsibility-free, slay queen. And that's what goes out into the world. That's America now. Not Coca-Cola, not Michael Jackson. Well, of course, because it's stupid on its face. These people are like less than a statistical anomaly in their population of our country. But as Mitch points out, it is a minority of these people that are in control of our media. And the reason why they have this control, Mitch, and I hate this because I suffer from it too, is they play on our sympathy. They will look us in the eyes and they will, with their whole chest, tell us that if we put more black characters in comic books, the Rodney King riot won't happen again. If we put more black characters in video games, well, if we put more black characters in video games, you won't have another Trayvon Martin incident. That's what they tell us with their whole damn chest. It's somehow,
please think of the children situation.
Exactly. That's what they do. It's the same thing that the therapists do with the trans kid when they tell the parents that if you don't let this kid trans, they're going to Minecraft themselves.
This is why I don't like therapists. You're giving me more.
And this is what happens though, right? And so that's why this control is exerted so powerfully and why the world itself is falling in line with this crap. It's because the U.S. sets the standard.
Here's the reason why the world is falling in line with this crap. It's called they are being sheep, and they are looking for a sheep herder. And God, I can't help but think of Shaman King the Superstar, where they are talking about this. That if a false messiah comes, and basically if people just fall in line with like a false prophet kind of thing, then they're just being a bunch of sheep.
The Antichrist. That's usually Jacob's line, but he's not here yet.
Kitty, knock it off.
But yeah, that's again like I don't think we're in the end of times. Don't get me wrong on that one. I'm not one of those people. I think we've got quite a long way to go. I think the Mayan calendar was right, but we added subtracted 300 years from the calendar. But yeah, I think that we added 300, right? Yeah, that Charlemagne 300. Yeah, Dark Ages. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, yeah, it's just flock mentality. That's the problem. If people actually thought for themselves, then you wouldn't have teenagers like saying that American Pie and movies like American Pie are sexist. I can't believe this shit is happening. My God.
Well, and Volume Dealer points out that there's BlackRock, and like we saw with their Blackstone, a separate company, though only slightly, has bought up the largest digital distributor of manga in Japan. Now, you know what that means.
We'll see what happens with that. I knew that was I knew there was that sale was coming, but from what I understand is that hold on a second, Kitty, knock it off. Oh my God, Kitty. It's not gonna wear my makeup now. I'll be back.
Wow, he's in a mood. Volume Dealer says, I don't understand why Larry Fink's name is not on most people's lips. And reality is that your average normie has no idea that BlackRock, Blackstone, Main Street, and Vanguard even exist, let alone the kind of control that they have over the entire world economy. Now, I'm not kidding you. I'm not playing the tinfoil hat, Art Bell, 11 a.m. East Coast to Coast AM business with you. You can Google this. These companies sit on the boards of the most influential media companies, product companies, service companies. Larry Fink's BlackRock is in the pots of Uber, it's in the pots of anime, in the pots of Hollywood, in the pots of the food industry. Did you ever wonder where they're getting the money to put up all these cricket farms, and Bill Gates is getting all of this support from local governments in order to make sure that he can buy up all this land and put in the cricket milk that he's making, the liquefied mealworm milk that he's making? It's because of BlackRock. It's because these guys buy favor wherever they go. BlackRock has a stated mission of changing human behavior. Larry Fink is on camera discussing this, that BlackRock intentionally changes human behavior.
I thought we were going to talk about Ubisoft too. What Ubisoft Japan did for Assassin's Creed, or are we saving that for 01?
We're saving that for 01 because
I just wanted to make sure, because that is still blowing my mind. My God.
It's going to be it's the first of many. It's the first of many. We're not trying to tease you. What happened was Japan had a victory with Ubisoft over Assassin's Creed.
A small victory.
Yeah, but they'll get there. Hey, it's me, and HD says, there are no leaders today, just followers. And he says, is Larry Fink the real-life cancer man from the X-Files? I would say he's closer to Lex Luthor. The only thing he needs is like a chunk of kryptonite that hurts America. That's, hurts America like Superman. That's about it. He's a diabolical fellow. He's even on camera saying that businesses don't like democracies. They like authoritarian governments because everything is predictable. Now, if a fella has control of a senator, what's he going to do with that mindset?
But you know what's scary is there's obviously B-Stars is very much like what's been happening for a minute, but or the timing of the B-Stars arc that's coming or that's getting adapted, the timing of it was perfection because it was happening around the time of the BLM riots. But what's interesting, I bring this up because Santa, which is such a good series by the same author, got an anime adaptation. Now, this is a dystopian series, and it's set in Japan, and basically it's like a world without a Santa Claus. That's what it is, world without Santa Claus, and basically these kids where youth matters, and they have arranged marriages and everything. And it's really, really interesting to see what happens in this world, how government, how important childhood and innocence is. Kitty, knock it off. But yeah, I really recommend it, and it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, people's reactions to, because there is a lesbian scene in it. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, how people react to it, or if it gets animated at all. But
well, speaking of lesbian scenes, Square Enix to reportedly replace male-female options with gender-neutral looks in upcoming Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. But I just want to note this. Akira Toriyama created this, right? To my knowledge, this is where Dragon's Quest came from, right? This is Akira Toriyama's. Yeah. They waited till he was dead to queer up his creation. That's just what happened. He's dead, and months later, they bring out this SJW just completely smoothed over, smooth brain BS.
Kitty, you don't like it either, huh?
Let's get down into what they're showing us here.
But yeah, hey, it's the same thing with SpongeBob. I mean, they waited for Steven Hillenburg to be dead before like a lot of this stuff came out.
So,
okay, stop being fussy.
Classified according to their look. As Spencer wrote this, and he's not here yet. He says he's coming, and I'm not sure what he meant by that. If he meant that in the Dr. Disrespect way, or if he meant that in the hurried arriving.
He meant that in the Hawaiian Standard Time way. He meant it in the Jewish Standard Time way, or the Color People Time way.
Oh, I see. Careful with that last one, huh?
I know. I was very careful with that. See, this is why I said Hawaiian and Jewish first, and then I said that.
Basically,
be quiet.
I thought
Kitty People way.
I thought that Spencer had included a new design that they had released, but apparently not. They haven't. That was just fan art that I saw, I guess.
Kitty, stop
But just like they took the old ugly baseball bat to the Pokemon Go characters, expect your Dragon Quest characters to be more rectangular than any other shape going forward. And see, this is another thing we saw with Embracer Group. They just came out and said that they're going to use AI to make sure that their character designs are not going to fall into gender bias.
Might as well just have the gray blobs from Fairly Odd Parents and call it a day.
Well, I mean, honestly, what are we aiming to accomplish by blurring the line between male and female in a fictional environment?
What do you think, Kitty? You agree with that? You think it's stupid?
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
again,
even the cat thinks it's stupid. Look at that. He thinks it's dumb. Yeah, the
You're-
ongoing adventures of Nerdigans and the Fussy Kitty. You are so fussy.
Well, that's just it. Is that these are like Lara Croft is a character that stole the hearts of young men across the country when she arrived in the N64. She changed how a lot of fellas felt about lady folk, especially with that special camera angle you could get on her when she was swimming in her pool. So these, I don't know from experience. I was told, okay, I don't know from experience. I never owned an N64. I wouldn't know these.
Or a PlayStation 1 or a PC
Yeah.
or PC.
So this is the thing, is that Lara Croft became a character that they now have to do all of this like body change stuff to because she is such a powerful name. And it wasn't because she was shaped like a rectangle. And I know that the Tomb Raider thing's a nice angle, but I promise you that wasn't the thing that sold so many copies of Lara Croft Tomb Raider. So just saying.
Mm-hmm.
We all know. And again, like we take a look at like historical pieces, and now we get to blur the lines even further. So you're going to have cross-dressing peasants in the 14th century now? We're going to have that joke from Monty Python with the cross-dressing knight? Is that what we're going to do now?
I mean, look at what's happening in Batman, in the upcoming Batman series, Cape Crusaders. I mean, you have a black police chief. You have a fat Asian psychiatrist.
Harley Quinn. Just cut to the chase. It's Harley Quinn. There's no secret.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, again, it is ridiculous to continue to entertain these people as they even lay off their own kind. I don't know if you guys caught this one. Again, it was during the holiday, breezed right by. Microsoft Xbox branch reportedly to face third round of layoffs this year. Folks, it's only July.
It's Christmas in July.
Well, if you're handing out pink slips anyway, and that's your fetish. But yeah, no, Microsoft's Xbox branch. Now, earlier this year, we had a story, and I couldn't find it earlier because I couldn't remember the title. But earlier this year, we had a statement from the head of Xbox saying that he didn't believe that Xbox was going to remain separate from Microsoft Studios too much longer. And this appears to be an effort to cut the fat off of the Xbox branch to test if it's worth keeping separate from Microsoft Studios. Now, for the fate of the Xbox, that's not described here. It's just the gaming end of it that they're talking about dropping the staff for, not the console development end, which at this point, it's a PC. So why are we even calling it a concept anymore? A console
Xbox is, well, isn't Xbox just going the way of Sega at this point?
Well, and, just to that point, Leslye Tarkin says, I hate to see people lose their jobs, but they did bring it on themselves, though. And just like Sega, they ended up working themselves out of a job because they haven't provided what the market wanted. And that, in the end, things like Nintendo continued to win the day. We'll talk about that a little later. There's a story about that, and I'm not quite sure what the details are of it because it popped up before we went live. But waiting on the guys to show up. I put out the alert, guys. I promise everybody that they all know to be in here, and they're just running late, doing bounding into comics things, But
probably rating. We can talk about summer anime. I don't know if you've been watching anything this season,
sure.
But I've been covering on my Patreon. I've been covering obviously Suicide Squad Isekai. Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, where we found censorship. Yes, they removed Lucy's. They decided to say, screw Lucy's bikini. We're gonna have her just covered up and wear her outfit. I'm like, wear just a shirt and get rid of the boob angles. I'm like, what? And then the sign for Fairy Tale looks so jank, but that's JC stuff. So what else is new? But I'm also covering the Elusive Samurai, which looks okay. It's never going to be Matsui's art. If you've read Assassination Classroom, that's the mangaka who's who does the Elusive Samurai. And the other
Spencer's
one
here.
I
Cool.
am
No, I'm
obviously
not.
It's
Spencer's
2.5D. It's 2.5D Seduction, which we talked about earlier, that has a lot of censorship.
Will we be
hi,
having?
Spencer.
Well,
Josh?
it's censorship and it's what's her
Gosh.
name, right? Katrina.
Yeah, Katrina. And she's getting her hands into Amazon too, I discovered.
How so? What's she working on?
She's working on The
Give us
Boys.
the deets.
And
Wait, what is she doing on The Boys? What?
She's doing, yeah, hold on a second. She
Like
is,
the show?
yeah, she's doing the I'm sorry, it's Gen 5, which is, you know, The Boys. She's the localization producer, 40 dubs and sub languages, and then she's doing the Citadel. She's the localization producer for that. For
What is
40
she?
dubs.
Wait. So she's localizing. I don't
40
understand.
dubs.
But she's an American. So why is she serving as the localizing director for other regions?
I have no clue. But
that's where I'm confused. Like what?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused too. But she's doing it, and she's doing another show called High School for Amazon, and she's the localization producer there too. And there's a couple of other.
Or no, go ahead.
Yeah, there's an unannounced movie project that she's doing, and an unannounced TV project too. But I'm just like, I saw this, I was like, wait, because I was trying to see if there was another localization she was doing for Sentai Filmworks, and I saw this, I was like, wait, what?
Well, the good news is that, like, of all projects, The Boys is one where if she inserts a bunch of her like neoliberal nonsense and stuff, it's probably going to sound fine. It's going to sound like it like goes right into that.
Yeah. Especially the rate they're going right now with their own indoctrination.
Oh, isn't it so? It's so beautiful though. We finally gotten to the point where it was like, oh, this is the best, most subversive thing ever. Oh my god! And now everybody's turning on it because the guy got too full of himself. It's chef's kiss. I love it. The hubris.
Oh, to answer Leslye Tarkin's question in terms of Fairy Tale, the writing is not the problem. It's mainly the animation. They censored Lucy's bikini. They basically have her in just the same outfit the entire time, and that's the main instance of censorship that I saw there. And then the sign for Fairy Tale, it looks so bad. Whoever did the lettering for it needs to be fired.
Well, yeah, and there's always that, right? And then we have the anime list though that you were talking
But
about.
Oshinoko, from what I've seen, it looks really good. They're doing a nice job for Oshinoko season 2. Tower of God, I've heard mixed things on, but Tower of God season 1 was just, whew, that was bad.
Okay. Yeah, Fairy Tale, the 100.
Yeah, Fairy Tale. I love Fairy Tale. Suicide Squad Isekai. Suicide Squad Isekai, I've been loving. I love it. I wish the art and animation was better, mind you, but for what it is, I really am. I'm still, the structure of it is it just gives me drifters. It really does. Where you get villains, what drifters, for those of you that don't know what it is, basically they summon different historical figures throughout history, and they're in it, obviously, an isekai world, and they fight on different sides of the battle. And how it's done here in Suicide Squad Isekai, it just makes me think of Drifters. Not as good as Drifters, obviously, but it just gives Drifters vibes. You know what I'm talking about, Spencer.
No, yeah, I definitely follow. I haven't checked out Isekai yet because busy. But no, I from what you're saying, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's good. I like the direction it's going in, but man, there was a questionable localization choice in the subtitles where Deadshot, I know it's probably me being nitpicky, but he said homies. He called Ratcatcher his homie. I was like, oh, really doing that? The rest of the languages didn't have that. And when I posted on Twitter,
that
to
is
see what the
interesting.
reaction would be. I had to post it on Twitter to see what it would be, and people were like, really did that.
It's because Deadshot's not the kind of character who would call somebody homie. Like, it's just, that's not him. So to make him say that, it just feels very a little uncouth, if you will.
Weird. But are we waiting on Josh and Jacob, or
no, Jacob is not here tonight, and neither is Josh. So we can get started whenever we're ready.
All right. We'll see you on the other side of the intros, everybody.
One more kiss and I'll get lost. I can take this anymore. One more step, we have it all. The fever's knocking at your door. One more kiss and I'll get lost. I can take this anymore. One more step, we have it all. The fever's knocking at your door. Can you feel the fever? You give me a fever again. Your game, but I love to be the one who gets played, yeah. There I go and I just fall again. Cause baby, I like the way I'm loving you. I like the hell you put me through. I keep on chasing after you. Yeah, you feel the fever, you can be a fever. I like the things you make me do. You know how to make me like a fool. The way you smile, the way you move. Can you feel the fever? You give me a fever again. You give me a fever again.
Literally, who is excited for Agatha all along? Literally, who? I have no idea.
Literally, who is the Acolyte for? Well, obviously it's for people like Alyssa Mercante, who's praising the hell out of it.
I'm done. I'm not even gonna bother. No, I'm not gonna bother. But how do you top like Agatha and the Acolyte? Like what? That's like the that's like the two-step of the apocalypse right there.
I genuinely wasn't expecting.
That's what they sent Bruce Willis and a bunch of oil rig drillers up to space to destroy. That's right. That asteroid secretly held Agatha and the Acolyte inside of it.
If only we could have been spared that. Not only would like so many of us have our time back, but so like Disney would be saving so much money. But I'm right there with you, Cider. I did not expect an Acolyte swing from Nerdigans, but she got it right on point. Like
Deckar.
It is Mercanti. We are looking at like the first show made exclusively for shippers. It is almost impressive. We have finally gotten to that point. But before we launch into any of that, we have a lot to talk about, of course, tonight. So before we get into any of that, before we get distracted, let me start by saying welcome everybody out there to the 01 show here at Bounding Into Comics. Obviously, you spent the last hour with my good friends, the Nerdigans and Cider, breaking down a bunch of different news stories. Unfortunately, I'm coming in blind. I had some stuff I had to take care of right before the stream, so I didn't get to
We talked about anime.
Oh, well then perfect. That's exactly what I want to be talking about. That's what I'm here for. That's my expertise.
Bleach talk, of course.
Of course I missed the Bleach talk, but I'm glad you hit it because there was a lot to talk about there, obviously. But before we get into it tonight, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. We have the Acolyte, we have Kotaku, we have just everything else under the sun. Things are continually imploding, and we are here to break it down for you. Before we get started tonight, couple housekeeping things. One, Jacob will not be joining us tonight. I know he said it last week. In case you guys don't remember, he's taking a break from streaming this week. He hasn't done any of his own shows. He won't be on any other shows this week. Totally cool. Nothing wrong there. He's a little exhausted, so go take your rest, buddy. I know you deserve it. And then Josh is a little bit of housekeeping on Josh. Josh is taking some time away right now. He's going through some personal stuff. So for the foreseeable future, we are going to be down Josh. Hopefully a lot of that can get resolved and he can come back to us. But for the foreseeable future, things are not going great down in Chile for him. So prayers, all that stuff to him. But yeah, he will be away for a little bit, an extended time. So I know we're all used to it, right? Psh, we don't need him. I'm kidding. Of course, we miss Josh. We'll be waiting for him to come back. Jacob, whatever, get out of here. I don't want you back until you bring your own streams back. I have had nothing to listen to this week. It has been a very painful week of work because I've had to spend time actually looking for things to listen to instead of having it automatically thrown into my feed. But that is all that said, and all that well and done, all that said, let's get into it tonight. Yeah, we have so much stupid stuff to talk about. Cider, what is our first stupid thing to talk about? What have you got for us?
Well, as it turns out, it looks like John Cena is going to be retiring. I was skipping ahead in the article just to find out what the situation was. It comes from JB Augustine.
I can't see him.
That's true. You won't be able to see him for much longer, in fact.
I cannot believe JB made an entire article with no images. I have to talk to him. This is crazy. This is not how we do things at Bounding Into Comics.
Right. I can't see Zeno either. My stubborn cat finally passed out. God.
Good. We are not paying him for his appearances. I need him to know that we are not licensing his voice or appearance.
Yeah,
he's getting no fees from us.
Not getting paid. Even though you worked your little kitty paws off today, he is not getting paid.
So,
nothing for him.
Nothing. No more kitty net for you, kitty.
So what it looks like is it's going to be that 2025 is when John Cena is going to be exiting the arena as a professional fighter, most likely retiring to comedy movies that don't service his career at all.
Oh, he's going to go the Rock route, but he's probably not going to have that stupid he's not going to have a clause in his contract that says I can't lose fights or I have to have equal amount of hits to my enemies in movies like The Rock does. So that is, man, I really wish we had Jacob here because I know he would have a lot more to say about the wrestling angle. Yes, as far as we know, John Cena has announced his retirement from the world of wrestling. It looks like he's going to be wrestling still from now through like the end of the year. He's probably going to, again, I don't know a lot about wrestling, but I think the reason we're bringing it up is the fact that get ready for John Cena just being more garbage. Like that's going to be the next step of his career is once he fully leaves the ring, we're going to start getting more Peacemaker, more Bumblebee, more everything. So buckle up for that. There are times when I like John Cena, but I'm not even going to lie. Like the whole ice cream thing for the Bing Bing thing from back in the day. I still can't get over it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get over that. Bing Bing chilling.
Bing,
I'm not going to lie. Anime Peacemaker is better than John Cena Peacemaker.
Of course.
Let's be clear.
What is the Peacemaker like in Isekai? Is he goofy at all? Like the Peacemaker in the movie?
He has his one-liners, but like he bounces off, like I would say he bounces off Clayface like the best, obviously, because you got the straight man kind of thing. But
right.
Like, he just has this like cheesy like justice one-liners, and then he kicks ass. He's not like
so he talks like a common writer.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right.
He's
well,
like
then 100% I'll get behind that.
That's actually the best way to describe it. He is like a common writer-esque character, and he has that moment like when it starts off, he has like a bag over his head because he doesn't have his helmet, and they're like, you could take the bag off. He's like, no, I can't. You never know what's going to happen if they see my face.
I like that kind of Peacemaker where he's like justice, but he's also like pretty much a psychopath. Yeah. That is like the good like that's the good way to do a Peacemaker. I'm not a big fan of
a dangerous, murderous idiot.
Yeah, just the idiot thing I think is the thing that really gets to me. There are moments in that James Gunn Suicide Squad where I like John Cena's Peacemaker, but overall it's just sort of like we get it. I know what this character is. Let's move on. Let's
Like,
go. Let's do anything else.
Had they kept the humor to that, like when Idris Elba's dead character and Bloodshot, I think no, it's not Bloodshot. Anyway, Idris Elba's character and
Bloodsport, yeah,
something
I had
like
to think
that.
for a second.
And it's blood something. And so you got John Cena's character and Idris Elba's in the prison, and he says, "I do everything he does, but better." And it's just like if they just kept doing that dynamic, that would have been fine. But
Yeah,
they
that's
had
the
to
kind
make
of dynamic
Peacemaker.
that's the dynamic that Peacemaker has with like Clayface, for example. Like that's kind of dynamic is what they have. It's great.
Which is the mistake that James Gunn made when he had to just keep making this guy a Scooby-Doo cartoon character and ratcheting up the bizarre, stupid things that he said.
No,
You know,
he's
every
more
now
like
and
that.
then.
It's more like that Manzai kind of thing where you just have to have like the one-liner kind of thing and have like at least have
See,
one
they
character.
jumped the shark when they made his dad the White Dragon. They jumped way over the shark.
That was jumping way over the shark to me. The moment they like his character sort of fell apart from what I think James Gunn was trying to do was that joke about like I would do anything for freedom. Like if there were what is it like a field of dicks or whatever, like I would munch them all for freedom.
No.
And it's like that's not what he would say.
Yeah,
like
no,
that's completely dumb.
No, when he rallied the ogres to and what was it? It was the ogres and the orcs to go to get out to do a prison break. He's like, "What is wrong with you pussies? Did they take your pride or some shit like that?" And he had like this big motivating speech about like just getting up and just fighting back. It was great. That sounds like something based off what you guys are saying. That sounds more in line and what Peacemaker's supposed to be.
Yes, buddy. His dad was a Nazi and very abusive, and the ghost, or at least the psychological projection of the ghost of his father, is inhabiting the helmet, kind of like Dr. Fate. And so the projection of his father haunts him, and he is constantly arguing with his father, who is the reason why he says this crazy stuff and acts the way he does, is that his father imbued in him that violence was the only solution to trouble or inconvenience. And that's what Peacemaker's the joke of Peacemaker is that he will make peace one way or another. If he has to kill his way to making peace, he's gonna do it. And that's what it is that making his dad the White Dragon was just like, look at us. We're just so virtue signally. Look at us. We're gonna have the big dumb guy tell his like evil racist dad that's no, don't do that. The spiad. We're so good. We're great people here.
It's so on the nose. It was unnecessary. Like you hit it on the nose, Cider, where like what Peacemaker should essentially be is Kamen Rider without any sense of moral
irony,
right? Like
no irony
or irony. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like justice.
No camp. No camp.
Like no hitting the poses. He's just gonna blow your brains out. Like that's what he should be, and he should just be a psychopath. What they did to him in what James Gunn did to him was try to do the whole thing where it's like, oh look, everybody has, everybody's just misunderstood. Everybody is just misunderstood. Everybody has a reason. It's your parents. It's all this stuff, and it's just like that is so boring because we've seen that a million times in all these stories already. Give us a dude who's unrepentantly like, I want justice. Get the heck out of my way. Like I would much rather read a story about that than daddy issues.
Well, it's the thing about Peacemaker. Dating. If you do him true to life, as Nerdigans is demonstrating for us in the Isekai anime, in the current iteration where he's crazy more than he is heroic, that's good. That's good. When you have a character that is the lawful chaotic as he's being presented in the Isekai, that's the positive use of a character like him. When you're doing neutral chaotic or evil chaotic, as we saw him in the James Gunn show, bad mistake, big mistake. And this is like you were mentioning this. He says, Mitch says, make his dad a commie. That would be edgy today. And to your point about a character that seeks justice like this. So rather than having his father being the commie, have his mother be the communist, right? The hyper feminist, hate men communist.
That would be
super
great.
thing. And so that's what drove him insane, with the hyper masculinity of seeking and dispensing justice because his mother always told him
Ooh,
that was
I
wrong
actually
and
really like
toxic
that.
masculinity.
Well,
And
that would be
that's the angle, is she's constantly browbeating him for killing these criminals, and so it makes him kill them harder.
Like, I actually really like that, but the problem is, Cider, all right, Cider, here, I love your idea. I'm Marvel. I'd love to get it. Let me pay you for the script. Let me bring you on to write and everything. But by the way, we can't have the mom and her anti-male stance be shown as bad. We need to edit that script, Cider, so that at the very end, she's shown to be right no matter what. I don't care that it throws away the entire narrative.
Exactly.
Make that happen. Like, that's 1,000% what would happen, unfortunately.
And that he's a white guy with an inexplicably black lesbian mom, the hair half her head shaved. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that always.
Oh, you mean
and
like
then
the one? Hey, they said the black villain in the SpongeBob movie with the blue hair and the side shave. They called her a monster, so the shoe fits.
Yeah.
If the shoe fits, yeah, no, 100%.
It looks to me like villain trans is back in vogue. If you're a fan of old cinema, it used to be that this is from SpongeBob, by the way. This is from the new SpongeBob movie, courtesy of Nerdikins. It used to be like Vincent Price fought against this. He wanted an end to villains being gay coded, basically is what we'd say it today. But basically, what he explained was that most villains were portrayed as homosexuals. And so he wanted to stop that, have that stopped. And to varying degrees, it did. But the reverse was to make the homosexual the hero. And there was no middle ground. It was either villain or hero. And now we're headed back into that. As Nerdigans pointed out to Spencer and I off camera here before the show started, this falls in line with the Gundam anime that's coming out of Netflix. This CGI
I forgot about that. I just completely threw that out of my mind. Like,
well, and this features side shave SJW, don't know what race they are, characters in the Gundam show. And they're villains. Zeon is, of course, portrayed as the villains in the Gundam series. And so it seems that the queer villain is coming back into vogue. And in reality, Hollywood's told us that only bad guys can be sexy now. And so that's what they're doing, is in order to keep the sex
It's not
appeal.
even bad guys can be sexy. Like, but they can't be sexy. We have like that SpongeBob, that isn't a sexy look. It's just a different look. So
what's more it looks like they're trying to go more on the campy side, like old school. What was it, like 70s space? What people in the 70s thought that the future was going to look like? That kind of classic look. That's what
sort of reminds me of what's his name from Fifth Element, Chris Tucker's character with like the big crazy hair and stuff. No, I agree with that. It's just like Cider said, it's been a while since villains were allowed to look like that. And I still don't even necessarily think it's like villains can be sexy. It's that villains are the only ones who are allowed to be portrayed like as in the right, almost right. Like it is now being portrayed in superhero comics that any superhero doing their job is a mean person because they don't stop to talk to somebody. They throw punches before they, the guy who's covered in black liquid death goo who's eating people, don't go punch him. You need to have a serious conversation with him first. And it's just
find out why he's sad.
Right, exactly. Like it's bizarre at this point. We're beyond the pale with villainy and heroism, and hopefully it comes back into vogue, but at this point it's going to take a while, if at all.
Well, speaking of taking a while to come back, we probably won't hear back from Kotaku Australia anytime soon.
No, we will not.
No, it is dead. It is dead.
Yep. Ding dong, ding dong. All right, let's get into this. It is probably one of the biggest things that's going to be happening this week, and we are only halfway through. This happened on Monday, so we got off to a bang this week. In case you guys out there did not see this, Kotaku's Australian branch is officially shuttering its doors. So, long story short, the Gizmodo brand, along with a bunch of other brands, including like Vice and Refinery 29, in Australia, they are licensed for publication by this, I forget the name of them, by another group, right? It's in the article. Cider can probably
I think
yell
it's
it out at me.
Pedestrian, isn't it?
Yeah, Pedestrian. That's what it is. Yeah. So this group, the Pedestrian Group, they own the publishing rights to all these brands as part of their portfolio. They just recently announced that they are going to be stopping publication of all their licensed brands. So things like Vice and Gizmodo and Geo Media, Kotaku, all that stuff, in order to focus on their own brands, like the ones that they created and are already like actually part of the company, because right now their business model of licensing those outlets is not making them money. They just straight up came out and said they're not making them money. So Kotaku Australia has officially shuttered its doors as part of that deal. And honestly, it's, to me, on one hand, it should be known that Kotaku Australia is sort of largely unrelated to the operations of the main site, right? Like they're two distinct like offices. They do their own sort of thing, but they're under that same banner. So obviously, Kotaku Australia admittedly has not had as much stupid controversy as the American site, right? You don't have people picking fights over Elden Ring bosses or their own mishearing of lyrics in Smash Brothers stages, which is still my favorite thing. But clearly they're under that umbrella. So it's sort of just, what this shows is that those brands and running that stuff is just not being profitable anymore. So now that Kotaku Australia is being shut out, I have to wonder what comes next for Kotaku proper, right? Because the big news here was obviously Kotaku Australia, bye-bye, you guys are gone. It's, again, heart goes out to people who have to find new jobs. Some of that might have been your fault, but it still sucks to have to go and find a new job. I get that. Do not misquote me here. But the reaction to the story is probably the most telling thing, and it's a reaction from one person in particular. Can anybody guess who we're about to talk about? It's our favorite person, our favorite Kotaku senior editor,
That's
Alyssa Mercante.
I try to forget about her.
Most of us do.
She did say quite the scandalous thing this morning. I don't know if you saw it or not.
This morning?
Yes, she did.
I mean, here's the thing. I genuinely, with Alyssa, I try to ignore her because at this point, she is not contributing anything on even for her side, and she's just picking fights. She's become a lolcow. She's like the Ethan Ralph of Kotaku now. Like that's all she is. Like that's 100% my take on it.
Oh, she probably smells like him too.
Probably does.
Well,
she got the gun lives. The gun lives.
I've been ignoring her for the most part, but like I saw that this the Acolyte article she posted. I was like, okay, I gotta see what led to this. And I looked at her profile, then I saw this post. I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of.
What did she say? What was the post? I haven't seen it.
All right, let me pull it up. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, you pull it up, and I'll keep going here. So, in the aftermath of Kotaku shutting down, Mercante took to Twitter and basically said, she started off with, condolences to everybody. This sucks. My heart goes out, so on and so forth. But then, after a few hours, she returned to the topic, and this is how she's terminally online and she seriously needs to go outside and take her own advice and touch grass, because she came back to the conversation like a few hours later to absolutely lose her mind. Because obviously Kotaku is notorious for having dumbed down not just video game journalism, but the industry as a whole. So much of the sort of cycle of this bullshit that happens in Western gaming, right? Like the reason we have we have things like Sweet Baby Inc. is because people at Kotaku would lose their minds from some weird sense of moral authority and go, oh, this is bad. Oh, that's bad. That's racist. That's misogynist. Like all of that led to where we are now, because they were the ones, they had the biggest microphone. People went, oh, they must be onto something. They must represent what everybody cares about. And now we're here. So Kotaku's reputation is all their own doing. So it's not surprising that people, myself included, would go and celebrate. Like, look, Kotaku took a big hit. They straight up said, these brands are not working for us anymore. We can't license them anymore. That to us, when you see something hurting your hobby or poisoning your industry, you normally would celebrate when that is relieved, even if temporarily. So in the response, so Kotaku shuts down, people celebrate. Mercante comes back to the conversation hours later and basically just starts going, all these people are rats and they're morally bankrupt and how
their
dare you?
websites look old.
Yeah, you're like, you have no idea what journalism is. Your websites look like they're from 2001. They're riddled with typos. You use yourselves as a source for stories. You have an internet connection and a webcam and think you have something worthy to say. You don't. We could set we could set my Nana up with a Razer Kaio in her care home and she'd make more coherent shit, right? It's a shame that private equity and Google have gutted legacy media sites and the stupid, cruelest people in the world are rushing to fill in the gaps. So like she sees this, and instead of having a moment of self-reflection to see how we got here or how she got there, she goes, it's all of your guys' fault. It's all of you YouTubers. It's all of you independent like media sites. All of you other people who are cutting through the bullshit. And I mean, she even says it in that tweet. The mainstream or the legacy media is getting crippled. Like it is, but you've also done that to yourselves. You guys have lied about 1,000,004 things. You have tried to start controversy over 401 things. And every week, like back to the flailing, right? Mercante is at the point where I cannot believe she is still a representative for your website. Because in recent weeks, when I say she's becoming an Ethan Ralph level lolcow, she is. I don't know how many, again, most of us here try to ignore her, but if you follow certain people, she's going to pop up, especially if you follow Vera Dark, because, shout out to Vera, love her, good friend of the show, friend of mine. She's, she covers all this stuff like we do. And in recent weeks, Mercante's been going into her inbox being like, you want to fight? Like, I'll challenge you to a fight. No, you're not worth my time. Hey, keep your name out of my mouth. It won't end up good for you. Like she's going full, like she's melting down. And that's not the behavior you see of somebody who is confident in what they're doing, who is secure in either their position at work or socially or whatever. It is bizarre what she has been doing lately. And it's just like going into Vera Dark's like DMs and trying to get her to fight and then telling her to like keep my name out of your mouth and then coming out and just taking all these swings at YouTubers. Look, I'm not a fan. I am not a personal fan of Grums. I have a big issue with a lot of the way he operates, but like look at her and Grums interact. They just, all they do nowadays is fling poop at each other. And so it is so dumb. And that's why I'm like, Kotaku has to be flailing because Mercante, she's always been like this, but she's never been so active in trying to get people like get in people's faces and puff her chest out and talk trash on anybody. I mean, the fact that she goes, you have no idea what journalism is. Your websites look like they're from 2001. You have a webcam. Well, why do you think then that more people are going to these people? What do you think is wrong with your journalism? Oh, it's that it's completely full of lies. It's all based on nothing but your own fart sniffing half the time. So we go to people like Bounding or Jeremy or all this because
Spencer, look,
they know what they're talking about.
Readers. I mean, she's attacking Kotaku's readers here.
We've got it right here. Nerdigan's brought it up for us. She posted this morning. She says, the moment a straight white man feels like the world isn't about him for a few minutes, he starts braying about taking back a space. The feebleness of a mind like that, the crippling insecurity that eats away at you. Fascinating. That means that their entire world is homogeneous. That their friends, the spaces that they inhabit, their work lives. What a sad, gray, miserable life that must be.
She posted something earlier today, too. That's even more crazy.
This is the most projection thing I have ever seen in my entire life.
That's
right?
what I said
Look,
too when I saw this. I was like, really?
this is like her confession, or the confession from her side, from her ideological side, as to how they operate. Like, okay, when we talk about, like, all of us here, all of us fans, 90%, like, I disclaimer, of course they're stupid, racist, and everything. Whatever, that's not what we're talking about. Most smart people understand that and know that those should not be counted because they are outliers. But for Mercante to go like, oh, they want to take back spaces. Well, we're taking back the spaces not from other races or genders or whatever. It's from people who don't like this stuff. You guys aren't fans, and you have genuinely brought down both the discourse around everything and the quality of this industry and this hobby to points where people are actively hoping for a crash. Like, if you don't have a healthy industry at all if your fans are going, we need this thing to end, we need you guys to take a hit, because you have no idea what you guys are doing anymore. So we're not trying to make a racially homogenized zone. It's more, I want to talk with people who know what they're into and actually are invested in this stuff. And two, the fact for her to go like, oh, anytime a white man isn't the center for like 3 seconds, they start crying about taking it back. You guys do that the second a man, a white man, anything, an Asian guy, anytime something is against your zeitgeist, you guys crap your pants and go, what about me? Where's my options? Where's my, where's my representation? Where's my place? Like, where's my accessibility options to make everything easier? Like, me. I need this experience catered specifically to me. I need it right now. Like that, it's such projection. And then I love her. Just one sec. I'm wrapping up. It's like the swing about, oh, they just want homogenous zones. Oh, that's so sad. They're all the same. It's like, she obviously completely disingenuous. She's full of crap, but that's exactly what you get out of your side. You might be more like visually diverse, but you guys all move in lockstep. You all follow the opinions of the leader. You all, what's her name? Carrie Jean Pierre or whatever over in the White House, whatever she says for the day is whatever you guys will download into your chips. Like, this is what I'm talking about. She is flailing here. She is trying to hit out at everybody because she knows she's cooked at this point. She doesn't have a reputation. It is completely in the ground. I mean, I went to earlier today, I was on a stream for That Game Place. In case you guys don't know, it's a new project with Jonas, Culture Casino, all those guys, where we cover video games. But we had a live stream earlier and we were talking about this topic, and I went, I wonder, what has Mercante been writing about lately? Because obviously her journalism is in demand. It is the golden standard for what everybody should consider video game journalism. So here are the most recent things that Mercante has written about. And let's see, in this week alone, we started the week on the 8th. She's written 2 things. So real hard hitting journalism there. But besides that, here are like the most recent things she's written. If you're mad about the Acolyte, you haven't, or here, why don't I do this? I don't need to just read it. I can share it. We are on the internet. It is a collaborative not medium, thing, I guess.
Yep. Collaborative thing.
While you're doing that, I wanted to say this, Spencer. You're saying this is the most projection you've seen. Hello, Katrina exists. She puts out the most projection that
Katrina. See, I think it's different together. Yeah, right. 100%. I think it's similar, but I think it's different because with Katrina, she's more like, I know I'm better than you.
Talking about a localizer, by the way.
Yes, we are talking about it. She's an infamous localizer, Katrina Leonardakis. You can easily, not easily,
infamous on the site
because her name is very hard to search because it's very long, but she is a notorious localizer who has advocated for changing everything. She was most notably, she was the lead translator for My Life as Inu San's Dog, which is completely full of Zoomer meme talk in all of its subtitles. And she was also she was on Among Us. No,
that mentioned Among Us. That show mentioned Among Us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she did Dark Gathering. She's doing 2.5D Seduction, and last season she did Gushing Over Magical Girls.
She was also the one I remember is that when there was that whole Seven Seas controversy about what's the name of that series, Nerdigans? You remember it off the top of your head?
I turned my childhood friend into a girl.
Yeah, I think I turned my childhood friend into a girl. For those who don't remember, when that series got localized, it is a series about a guy who gets into makeup and he goes over to his other guy friend and says like, hey, can I practice on you? And he says yes. He starts looking more feminine. They start having like a love triangle thing. It's you know, even though it's like a cross-dressing guy, it's still a guy. When it got localized, that they changed it into that character is trans, and it completely destroys like the narrative. The author herself was like, I don't know what the hell this is. And when people started making an uproar and looking into it, Katrina came out and was like, I talked to trans people and they said this is accurate, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, she was right at the front there, and it's like, congrats, somebody read it the same way you did. That's not what the author meant, so shut your mouth. Like, you remember, that's not for you.
Spencer, do you remember when we were growing up, you had to be like, I'm not gay, stop calling me gay, and now they're like, I'm not trans, stop calling me trans.
Someone sent me this
no transo.
Someone sent me this 4chan meme, and one of it, the end of it said that that trans are ruining the gay community or something like that, and I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah, they want it LGBT without the T.
LGBT without the T. That's what I was going to say.
I see that trending every week.
Like every day, yeah. It is. I don't hang out in those circles, but when they eventually escape containment and find their way onto my feed, yeah, they are not happy with that last letter in the group, and all the
plus
other
bothers them too.
That's like, what I was about to say, and all the other efforts
fellas?
to put all that in there.
What's the plus mean? We got 2 S's and 2 A's. What's that plus mean, fellas?
But yeah, so yeah, we all know what it means. I just don't want to get us like shut down.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, but so this is the hard-hitting journalism that we're getting out of Mercante. If you're mad about the Acolyte, you haven't been paying attention to Star Wars. Okay, I watched Miami Vice and it rules. I don't know this. Okay, this one is particularly. Huh?
What happened to gaming guides? Wasn't Kotaku supposed to be doing that?
They backed away. Well, they said they backed away from it, but I'll show you something in a second, Nerdigans, which kind of torpedoes that. But so this is what I'm talking about. This Miami Vice article over the weekend, there was a Twitter like main character who lost her mind over white people liking Miami Vice, like the movie from 2005. And so Mercante, you know what this is? This isn't a recap of the situation. This isn't detailing like what's going on. This is literally her going, I watched the movie everybody's talking about. It's cool. That's it. Like that. Like I will click this. It is just her recapping, like watching the opening scene. Miami Vice is a hot movie. Miami Vice is about love. Miami Vice moves at breakneck speeds. Like what? This is just a movie review. This is a movie review for a movie that came out 20 years ago that people have already made their judgments on.
Oh my gosh. This is back when what's his face? Jamie Foxx is in this, right?
Yes, Jamie Foxx and Colin Farrell.
That's him right there, yeah.
This is back before Jamie Foxx was replaced by a clone.
It was before. No, we're not even joking. Go look at that. Jacob talks about it. Go watch Jacob's last barroom stream.
Yeah, no, this I don't understand. So Alyssa saw someone saying white people shouldn't enjoy this, and then said, "I am a white person. I will proceed to enjoy this." How out of character for you, man?
How very non-allied, right? Like how very rude. But then
Spencer, is someone downloading Netflix for you?
Is someone downloading Netflix for me?
Yeah, your internet's quite choppy at the moment.
Is it? Interesting. Nobody is, but I can see what I can do to fix that.
Are you downloading, perhaps?
I'm not downloading anything. The only thing we are doing right now is hanging out. So, there I go.
Yep, he did go, certainly. Yep, Spencer is left the building. Okay. So until Spencer comes back, and we'll resume talking about Miami Vice when it comes back, because Miami Vice is bitching. Miami Vice is bitching. But Alyssa Mercante had this to say. It says, "Here's why you won't be allowed into the smelly, festering pit of weirdos, sir. I don't want to be there." Oh, she's interrupting him. "Here's why you won't be allowed in this smelly, festering pit of weirdos. Excuse me, sir. I don't want to be in there." Yeah, I get that. Oh, there's two Spencers. A case of two Spencers.
I've been cloned like Jamie Foxx. Help me! But no, hopefully now my internet will stabilize, because I have no idea what was going on right there. But
hopefully you don't have a dial-up incident.
I would love to have a dial-up. You do not lie to me, everybody here, you Insider, everybody in the chat, everybody would have a good smile of nostalgia if I dropped out right now and you started hearing the I just had a flashback. Like, that feels great. But then, like, so yeah, like, that's what Mercante's journalism is these days, is just random musings of her own and going around and talking trash about her, like, opponents. Again, for everything that she complains about is what she is doing. So whatever sort of sympathy we might have been able to go, like, okay, we understand. It's all thrown out the window, because she's engaging in this stuff. She's doing the exact same thing. She's not standing for anything except, I'm going to own Le Chuds. Why else is she writing articles about, you don't understand the Acolyte, or oh my gosh, the Acolyte's Smilo Ren makes me so hot and bothered. Like, this is this kind of, again, it's hypocrisy all the way through. Rules for thee, not for me. Like, just shut up, get out of here. This is why nobody cares about you guys. This is why you guys are slowly starting to make more guides. So what I was saying, Nerdigans, before my internet crapped out, is, where is the thing? Bring back the Kotaku share. So even though they said that they aren't, we're not doing guides anymore, we're not doing any of that. If you go and you sort of where was the thing? It's like, if you go to their news, not that stuff. There was or where was it? Is it in news? I know they have like, here's how you get, like, tips and guides is still a big thing right here. How to complete all of Fortnite's quests, how to complete all of the Disney Dreamlight Valley quests. This deal on Game Pass Ultimate will save you a bunch. How to unlock Magneto. Like, they are doing that stuff. Even though they said, like, we're angling away from that, we're not going to do it. You can see they're slowly pushing more and more stuff with that, because these are more, they've never made this many guides for individual random things. So yeah, it's not looking good for Kotaku anymore. Couldn't have happened to a better person, condolences. But yeah, as long as your number one representative is Mercanti, I don't know, man. The age of combative marketing is long dead. Like, nobody thinks Wendy's is funny anymore. Wendy's hasn't been funny in like 9 years. So yeah, just it's all bad.
Well, and again, I'm not surprised that they're doing these guides, right? Because the guy, honestly, I think that's originally what made Kotaku. It was the Wizard magazine online of gaming. You'd go there and you'd get commentary about, it used to be. You would go there and you would get commentary on the games, but that commentary would be inside of the guides themselves. You would be reading about the Kirby game that they had out, and you would be the guide would have an opinion about how the guide writer grew up with Kirby and what Kirby is in this game compared to previous iterations. And it would sort of be a news article mingled with a guide. And I remember that because I used to look up how to cheat Pokemon games, because I always forgot how to get Masingo.
It was the same thing with IGN and GameSpot too. It was more guide based, if I remember correctly.
Yep. And that's truthfully, that's where we're at. Is this something we're meant to share here? Or?
Yeah, I mean this I was just trying to show. This is a screenshot of Kotaku from 2004. This is what it used to look like.
Whoa.
This is when it got started. So you can
Wow.
see things like let's teach people about Taiko Drum Master. Oh, here's an actual news story where a Call of Duty toy was discontinued. Oh, we're kind of bored, so I'm going to have fun and I'm going to do my reviews in a haiku format, right? I'm not going to go attack anybody, but I'm a little bored, so I'm going to present them in haiku. A little odd, but hey, have fun with it. Oh, look, the new Need for Speed is finally ready to go. The Half-Life 2 Code Thief is on the loose. City of Heroes tops the board. Halo 2 launches at midnight. Like,
Spencer, slow down. You're reading these faster than they were ever read in 2004. You got to give these like a half a minute to load in between.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Those
you're right.
Whole JPEGs there, mister. Whole JPEGs.
No, I hope nobody wants to use the phone tonight because I am not getting off.
Nobody.
But like, so like there's actual news here. There's sort of relevant news here, even if it's not game related. Like, oh,
But they're not
Call of
attacking
Duty
you
toy.
either.
They're not attacking you. They're not trying to necessarily change anything. Like, this is pretty much insane to me that they have an article here, Beware the Taiko Drum Master, and I just clicked it and we can check it out. Like, it's not even an article. It's literally just like, check this game out, right? Like, I guess it's also talking about
a little longer than a tweet.
Yeah. But like here it's just like, hey, this game exists. It has drumsticks. It's kids are being dumb and they're choking on it. There's no moralizing at you.
Spencer,
there's no,
this is before SEO. That's why. They didn't have the SEO thing. People just go to Kotaku because they heard about it, and that's all they needed.
Exactly.
Wow.
It was a better time.
It was a better time.
Wow.
Right.
Look at that logo.
Look at the logo. Look at the layout.
Back to 2000, like to the early 2000s when things were just not so crappy.
Vectory. There's a lot of vector art back then.
Yes, there is.
Art.
But yeah, like, look at these like recommended things. These are so funny. It's just like, this is so old school. Like, it's so old school. Add to your XML feed, your Kinja Digest.
Man, your XML, like on your MySpace.
You could have your friends go to your page and check out the latest video game news from Kotaku.
Before
but yeah, like
a feed ever existed.
But yeah, you're right, like Nerdigans. This was back in the day before everything sort of went downhill, and you can see just the sheer difference before SEO, before any of that. Before, again, 90% of the problems we have right now in discourse, whether it's political or video games or comic books, whatever, it's caused by the fact that the internet has become like normies have all run into it, and it's been sanitized because of it. So now everybody has to play by the rules. Everybody has to be silenced. You can't talk about this thing because somebody might get upset, and you better play nice by these rules, or we're never going to index you in our search engine. Back here in 2004, just probably by simply putting Need for Speed in this headline right here, they probably ranked in the search for Need for Speed. Like, they were probably third. Yeah, exactly. So no, as soon as like corporate money and everything gets into any industry, that's when you start seeing things go downhill. I do genuinely wish we could go back to this time in history, because I hate the sanitized internet.
Guys, if you scroll up, we can advertise on Kotaku for $50, man.
$50.
See that?
Look at that.
You can advertise on Kotaku for $50
for a week of advertising for $50.
Wow.
Honestly,
$100
not
per
bad.
month. Wow.
Not bad.
You can advertise Bounding into Comics on 2004 Kotaku. That'll be the next. That's how Archive of Our Own should do it. They should replace all the old ads with current ads.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be fantastic.
That would be hilarious.
Who do we need to talk to? I think we're on to something. I think this is mine and Cider's last day here at Bounding into Comics. We're about to be billionaires. Goodbye. Yeah.
A couple of hours here, we're gonna be buying private islands.
It's so I'm gonna buy Kotaku. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, right. And then close it.
Finally, just bong. like it's going to be a great day when that finally happens, and it's got to be happening soon because there's no way this stuff can be sustainable.
Well,
Or you're going to start seeing Kotaku put out videos like we do, where it's like gamers said what, and like clickbaity type videos, which we do because we have to get the algos, but like that's going to be so funny.
No. That's not clickbait. That's actually how YouTube communicates. I've noticed this. That's why I've started putting it in our videos. If you put out a video where it's just like what happened, people treat it like a documentary. When it's trying to be a news, when it's news that's just happened or it's news that's just surfacing, people want that to be like an exciting, you got to get in here and see this now. This is going to kill you in the thumbnail. they want to see that, believe it or not, because it rewards the bias of like news is always bad.
Right.
And that think about it. Like, when was the last time you've had a consistent stream of good news? I've never had it in my life. A consistent stream of good news for like a week. It was just okay.
No.
There's never been 5 days in my entire life that was like Monday was okay and Friday was okay. That's never happened. I'm talking about news-wise, not in my personal life. I'm talking about news. And that's,
I know there are weeks where I wake up and it's like Monday, Tuesday. Oh, there's not a lot to write about. This is kind of crazy. All right, this is sort of nice. There's no Marvel announcements. And then like Wednesday, Thursday night. Oh, welcome the new, we're making a change to Deadpool and Wolverine, and Deadpool will now be played by Zazie Beetz. So have fun, everybody. Like, that's always how it happens.
Yep. Well, and as these strange ideas continue to fester and ruin our lives, at least our childhoods anyway, we have such great news. Wrong one. We have such great news as the Nielsen data on the Acolyte, the second worst premiere ratings of any Disney Star Wars series.
Second worst, yes. So for those of you who have sort of been paying attention, you might know by now that the Acolyte has not been the most well-received show, even by not just out like in our circles, but like normies are sort of really bored of it. Grace Randolph's bored of it. You have Forbes coming out with the just trashing it every week, going, this is the worst Star Wars I have ever seen, courtesy of Eric Kane over there. Like, this series is not doing hot, but I'm sure that you've all heard, oh no, don't worry, it's actually doing great. There is, oh boy, we'll get, so how do I don't even know how to set this up, because what I'm about to detail is so absolutely ridiculous. So let's start with the ratings themselves, I guess. So with the Nielsen ratings that were just released, we got confirmation that the Acolyte has not been doing that hot. It has actually had the second worst debut, like premiere, like watch hours of any Disney Star Wars series. And that's taking into account, some series had multiple episode premieres, some had 0 or like 1 episode premieres. So even taking all of that into account and averaging things out, the Acolyte is not doing hot. You can see here, it is only 7th on the original streaming chart for the week it premiered. Not even the overall chart. You have to specifically go to original television streaming to get these numbers. So, what's that?
It only barely beat Hitler. That's how bad it is. It only barely beat Hitler.
It only barely beat Hitler and only barely undercut the devil.
The devil.
Like, there's the devil and Hitler, and people went, I guess in between my fix of
it
absolute
did worse
evil.
than evil. It did worse than
literal evil.
The Acolyte is worse than evil.
But yeah, see, like that is how disastrous this series has been going for them. For comparison, the if you scroll down real quick, Cider, right under that chart will be this you can see here. I went through and I looked up amount of episodes in a premiere, the runtime. So you guys all know now they've sort of changed the metric of what counts as a view in terms of television ratings. And it's not just Nielsen, it's everybody, right? No longer is it viewers, it is watch minutes. And so that's what we have to calculate now. And it's very deceptive, because what does that mean? It could be, so for example, the people like us in our sphere, we watch it Okay, then we go back and we rewind to get screenshots. We play to hear quotes when we're writing an article. We're recording something for a video. Those all count towards their watch hours, and they're, you know, all these production studios are now going, yeah, see, people are watching it. People are totally in on this. When it could be like 5 people watching the show like ad nauseum every night before they go to bed and just leaving it playing. It could be that. It could, like, it's a very sleight of hand, do not look over here way of getting your ratings out there.
Mhm.
But as you can see here, just by averages, the premiere for the Acolyte was second worst overall, only beating out Andor. Like, and here, I need to bring up a very special note about that, courtesy of our a reader, Mac. He dang, where is this thing? And now you're like not letting me into my Twitter. What is even happening? Because there, so while the Acolyte did beat out Andor, there is something to note in the way they released it. He laid it out and I retweeted it. So, oh yeah. Andor, or here, I'll shoot it over in case Cider wants to pull it up. You don't have to. It's a really quick read, but I don't want to leave anybody in the dark. So Mac over here on Twitter let us know that Andor has the lowest Disney Star Wars ratings, but it debuted on a Wednesday. So the Acolyte debuted on a Tuesday. So the Acolyte got an extra day of watch time added onto its statistic. So if you looked at the comparison is for the Acolyte, the average view time for the premiere was 244 million views per episode for each 2 of those episodes. For Andor, it was 208 million average for its 3 episodes. So again, that like if you looked at the collective number, Andor beats it out, but it has another episode. But then there's the Acolyte having an extra day to accumulate these numbers. It's all to obfuscate the fact that this show is not doing great.
If it had an extra day, that means that the Acolyte is worse than Hitler.
The Acolyte is probably worse than Hitler. It's probably worse than all of these. Like,
if it had an extra day, though, that means that it's, by the chart standard, that means it gained more than in the same time frame than Hitler and the Nazis, Evil on Trial, did. So that means it underperformed that.
Oh, it absolutely underperformed. We know this, right? Because again, I implore most of us out there.
Wow.
We all know people who are normie. We have normie friends who probably watch Marvel and Star Wars and aren't into it like we are. How many of them have watched The Acolyte? How many other people have you heard talk about The Acolyte? I've literally not heard anybody outside of like pundits and people in our sphere talk about it. Nobody even like knows this show is out there.
Well, you gotta remember the shippers love it too.
But that's sort of it. The only audience left here are shippers. Like, that is who Leslye Headland is advertising this show to. It's who is left to tune in, and it's sort of by their own design. That's where we've gotten to. We don't, like, they realized, oh, we pushed away all the old Star Wars fans. Oh, we're pushing away the new Star Wars fans because we're just making really, really bad stuff. Oh, we pushed away the Dave Filoni fans because Ahsoka was absolutely terrible. What is left? The weirdo shippers who are going to watch anything we do regardless. So that's why we have
action figure collectors.
Not even who I mean, what is the helmet? I think it is already, they actually did make it. That sucks. That
for like $25, dude.
That is bull crap. Like
Neon had a good take on this, and I lost the tweet, unfortunately.
Oh, Neon.
But he had a good take on this. He says they should just cut out the middleman and do Ollie's exclusives.
Yeah.
That would be
hilarious. Just release directly to Ollie's.
Would be so awesome.
Or
I would
Dirt
laugh
Cheap,
so
or
hard.
Store.
Just like Five Below exclusive OSHA, Ollie's exclusive May.
We do
like
have Five Below exclusive stuff.
TJ Maxx exclusive. Wait, really?
Yeah, there's Five Below exclusive figures and stuff. Yeah. For Funko Pops, I know there is.
Funko,
and I think
okay.
Star Wars. Yeah.
Not real
Star
figures.
Wars,
You had me scared there for a second, Nerdigans. I'm like, are we getting like like unique figure arts that only go to Five Below. What the hell world am I living in?
I don't think we're getting no, we're not getting figure arts yet, but like there's like My Hero Academia like minifigs and stuff that are exclusive to Five Below. I know that.
That's
Same with One
crazy.
Piece figures. Yeah.
I genuinely didn't know that. That is blowing my mind.
I know.
What else is going to blow your mind is this latest episode of the Acolyte that we were just talking about the numbers on. Did anybody catch anything from it here, or just me?
I heard that the latest episode of the Acolyte made the Jedi evil. That's what I heard.
Confirmed.
But I want to go back to the shippers for a second here.
Oh, sure.
Okay, yeah.
We talked about it earlier is the power of Fujoshis.
The power of one, the power of two.
They can make or break a series. Like you could ask the Baki Bros or the Kagurabachi fans. They utilized the power of the Fujoshi to help bring their series up. They've like put out like demands for them, like help wanted and stuff. They're like, come on, Fujoshis, help us. We want Kagurabachi to stay. They sank that low to get the Fujoshis to help. Star Wars, I don't know why they're thinking that the Fujoshis are going to come to their side. It's not going to happen.
Because they're the only one. They're the only ones left. That is the only people who are left are the Reylos. Like this is, and again, shippers are like the best audience for this stuff because they do not care about canon or continuity. They just care about seeing their two action figures kiss. So that's what this show gives them. Again, like May, right? Whichever one it was, like she started getting hot for Smilo Ren 5 minutes after he massacred literally everybody she knows except for Master Soul. Like, but she went, "Oh no,
that is Dojenshi down. That is some Dojenshi."
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like that, but everybody eats it up. Everybody's losing their minds. All the interviews with Leslye Headland after that episode aired last week, like it's all been, tell me about the shipping. Tell me about what you were trying with this shipping. Oh my gosh. And it's just like, there you go. That's who you're advertising to because they're the only ones left. They're the only ones who will buy this because they are the worst type of drug addicts.
Her target the entire time was for the shippers. She did not care about the rest of the audience.
No, she doesn't. This show is a self-insert therapy session for Harvey Weinstein's ex-assistant. Like there's nothing deeper to it than that. But anyway. What are we picking up here from the episode, Cider? Because the only thing I will admit, I tried to watch the episode last night. I loaded, so obviously I had a lot of work to do last night for Bounding. I was editing late into the night at around like 11:30. I went, I could go to bed, but I know the Acolyte came out. Maybe there's something to write about. Let me, boot it up to see. So first I hit play. In the first like minute, the first shot is the Jedi using a metal detector to look through some grass. And I immediately went, I can't do this tonight. So I went on Twitter. I went on like Star Wars Theory. I went on like WDW Pro. I checked out all of our friends and stuff. And I was like, okay, it's stupid, but nothing like news, internet breaking. I'm passing on this one right now. I'll probably watch it tonight when we're done. But after the metal detector, I just straight up was like, I can't do this. I can't do this.
Well,
what are we doing?
M readings, Jay had it this morning calling it metal chlorians. So looking for metal chlorians out there. And this is the scene that confirmed that the Jedi were bad. But before we get into it, I just wanted to set up what we're looking at here. This is episode 3 again, but from the other perspective.
Whoa, so subversive.
It's shot for shot the same episode over again. It's so dumb. Now, we do find out what happened. So for those of you who don't watch The Acolyte because you'd like to preserve your sanity.
or you have anything else to do.
The situation in the show is that these lesbianic witches, space witches, live on a mostly deserted or probably 100% deserted planet. And they travel to other places, presumably, whatever, to do their business. But in the process of being isolated, they use force powers, what they call the thread, to create children. What happened with Anakin, basically. And they create twin girls who both possess force sensitivities and force control powers. So powerful that the Jedi, half a galaxy away, sense this and embark immediately, like down the fireman pole immediately, to deal with this. Now so far we've had their relationship portrayed as their like space child protective services, and they don't like that this cult is teaching these kids cult stuff. So they showed up, started teaching the kids Jedi stuff. Only one of the kids took to it, and the other one was like, "Nah, yeah, that's whatever." And so now we find out in this episode,
again, it was the most deep exchange of dialogue I've ever heard in a Star Wars project between the two girls. The Jedi are good. The Jedi are bad. The Jedi are good.
I'll kill you.
Shakespeare. Yeah, I'll kill you. That's right. That was the end of it. Yep, Shakespeare. Just
yeah.
I wish we could write like that.
The dialogue of kings. But it was confirmed again that O.R.C.A burned down the monastery again. So that somehow the rock just lights on fire, very flammable.
So it was her fault.
Yeah, still. Yes. Yep. She just didn't set the fire on purpose this time. So.
What? This is so dumb. What does that mean then? Like,
it means nothing. It means nothing, Spencer. Nothing means anything.
It's clearly, it's trying to subvert your expectations and it's just really, really sad.
So now, up until this point, okay, we've had the Jedi being portrayed in a strange light. Lucas had them as a police group that found themselves being overstretched in their purpose. What's that? Soul was hiding behind a tree, creeping on little girls. Yeah, so this is what I'm getting into, right? So I said, up until this point, Lucas showed us a police force that got overbearing. The Republic called on them and put them in a position that these monks were never meant to occupy, okay? And so that's what we were shown. This peaceful group that were otherwise just people who fought their own kind, who had gone to the dark side, were then employed in military use, and they went awry from there. Now, what we see with Leslye Headland's approach, which is over 100 years in the past, is that they're overzealous jerk-offs. So at no point did the Jedi, in the course of 100 years, have like a redeemable quality about them. Let's just make that clear, okay? So during the episode, we see Jedi Master Soul, and he's got his Jackie Chan hair cut down. He doesn't have his long Keanu Reeves hair. He has his short Jackie Chan hair. That's how we know he's younger.
He does look very salary man. I will not deny that.
and so he is fixated on O.R.C.A, and his fixation takes the form of, from half a mile away, he imprints on this kid. He decides that kid's going to be my Padawan if I have to kill everybody around here to get it done. And it's not his wording, but he is very obsessed with his child. In fact, he says, that one will be my Padawan. She must be my Padawan. As we're going through the episode, we see him, as he continues to prey upon her, that he is constantly trying to, like, force this lifestyle onto O.R.C.A. And she's receptive to it, mind you, but it is very much like Candy in the Van, kind of, like, luring her into this. And so it progresses further into him becoming protective of the mothers rejecting the child being allowed to pursue being a Jedi. And so one fanciful day, this whole thing goes sideways when he confronts the mother over the destiny of O.R.C.A. And so what we're about to see is how that plays out. So for whatever reason, the mother, the one who carried children inside of her, the one who created the children and put it inside of a white lady. That one, she does this. Okay, so you can't quite see it there for copyright purposes.
Is she like dissipating into smoke?
Yeah, evil smoke. Like her eyes turn like supernatural black. You remember the show when they would just flick out like that? So they flick out into black, and she turns into a screaming cloud of smoke in front of him. Okay. In the courtyard when he confronts her over the destiny of this child. And so she's all doing this crazy stuff. He's watching this black smoke, okay? Now, what you're about to see, this is O.R.C.A, right? The twin that he's training to be a Jedi, that he wants as his Padawan, that he's claimed, okay? So this is what happens next. All right, you start seeing that smoke rising off of O.R.C.A now, as though the mother is calling this, like, Thanos, disappearing power. Out of the child now, okay? All right? So what you're seeing is that you're the Jedi who was called in because these people are doing nefarious things with the Force. Now they're just doing crazy demon shit to children. What do you think he does in response to this?
He probably just runs away.
No.
No!
He goes full GTA on this bitch.
Oh, I thought he was like jumping in the middle to like take the like a hit, like no, oh shot.
It gets even dumber. So
How?
she's a cloud. She's just a cloud. She's just some particle effects that somebody dropped in from Blender. All right now, okay? So
It's
how's that
bad.
lightsaber supposed to hurt her at all? We don't see like remember when Smilo was headbutting them with his cortosis helmet?
Yeah.
And it was causing the lightsaber to short out and vanish. We're not seeing any of that happening. We're not seeing the lightsaber becoming overcharged inside of there and the power of it tracing through the cloud or anything. We're just seeing a glow stick being pushed into some like, I don't know, black ice, you know, not black ice, dry
Why-
ice fog, you know?
If you were a Jedi, like this was what I was thinking while you were recapping that. It's like, why didn't he just force push it? Right? Like, isn't
Yeah,
that more
right.
effective to get smoke particles than trying to
It's
slap
so
at
much
it with
dumber.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, it's me and HD says it's a smoke monster. So much
Hey!
like the smoke
Oh, it is
monster.
from Lost. Yeah.
So much like the smoke monster would reconstitute itself into various dead members of the cast, right? She's going to reconstitute. But she reconstitutes around the freaking lightsaber. She could have just taken 2 cloud steps back and been completely fine, okay? Completely.
So Soul gets her right here?
Yeah, watch.
What?
Yeah, and she just reconstitutes around the lightsaber, and she is diggity dead.
I
But
literally
wait,
do not
it gets
understand.
even dumber. You
How?
saw that. You saw that, right? She turns into a big old smokety monster. Ooh, gonna kill you.
I hate it here.
Ooh. Okay, right? The kids dissolving into Thanos particles, right? Okay, the kid's like, oh no, you killed my mom right in front of me. Listen to what she says. It's the dumbest thing.
I was going to let O.R.C.A go.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's what happens.
Then why did you do that?
Yeah, why did you do
What?
that? Why did you become a scary smoke monster that was causing a child to devolve into scary smoke monster shit? Why did you do that if you're just gonna be like, yeah, you could take my kid. It's cool.
What? Like, what? If this was such an innocent thing where you maybe it's what they do to be like, oh, here's a hug, I'm always with you. Like, just explain that to Soul instead of being like, I'm gonna do. You know what this shit is? Oh my god, it is literally a continuation of the bullcrap from The Last Jedi, where Holdo, remember they were like, what's the plan, Holdo? And Holdo's like, no, I'm not gonna tell you. Like, you don't need to know. And it's just like, but if we're gonna do something here, shouldn't I know? Like, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna do it, and then you have to deal with it. Like, that's what this is here. It's, again, a simple explanation probably would have been fine for Master Soul. Again, Master Soul especially, because he's shown to be like the more nice, compassionate one, at least until he got this weird Twilight Jacob thing going on here in this episode. I don't even know what the heck that's up with that.
Now we devolve into the Wookiee fight.
Yeah!
No, it's dumb.
No, I know. That was not a genuine yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this part, yeah.
Okay,
But
so
keep going.
we're gonna show you a bit of the Wookiee fight here. So what we're looking at, what happens next is the witches join hands and start singing "I Want to Give the World a Coke," and that causes the other mother witch, the one that's totally not Darth Maul gender bent, getting called Demon Smoky and then jumping into possessing the Wookiee Jedi, and he proceeds to screw up Torbin. This is Torbin here being smashed against the wall and having his face carved up. This was the Jedi that was doing the floating punishment thing where he was just floating in the air and he apparently never had to pee or poop. And then,
and then he
May
just killed
gave him the
himself.
poison. And she's like, do you want to say you're sorry? And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. She says, nope, you gotta drink the
He
poison.
gave
He's
him
like,
the
okay.
liquidated white guilt. That's what it was.
Right. So
Liquid
this
white
is
guilt, and it just took him out.
this is his role in all of this, is that we're not going to hear this part, but all he wanted to do was take the kids and leave. He didn't abuse any of them. He didn't try to imprint on any of them. He didn't insist on anybody being a Padawan. The guy was just like, I hate this dumb, rainy place full of lesbians that don't like me. I want to go home. And that's why he had to
Valid.
die. So he's being burned by his own lightsaber. The Wookiee is one-handing him into the wall, trying to cut him in half.
Why is the Wookiee even fighting him? Aren't they on the same side?
Well, he's possessed the Wookiee. The witches have possessed the Wookiee.
Oh my.
I told you it was stupid.
This gets even worse. It gets
Right.
worse by the freaking second.
So bad.
So they're calling out to him, and he's like, he's possessed by the mom witch that carried the babies, okay? Yes, it's because of bad writing. Yes, you're absolutely right, but I digress. So he pitches him. The Wookiee pitches. This looked like Torbin getting pitched here.
Yeah.
Yep. So he can focus on Soul, all right? So Soul is a master, okay? And so is Kaunaka, all right? The Wookiee, all right?
Supposedly.
Right. So this is a worse fight than what the Smilo Ren and the lesbian Padawan had going. This is a worse choreographed fight. Watch. Look at that.
What was that?
He watched him walk away, then he sidestepped him, then spun. Shad talks about all of this.
What was that? That was bad.
It's awful, and it gets even worse. Got him. All right, swing. And he deliberately looks, then kicks him as he steps out of the way.
Yeah.
Hole in the wall. That's kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
This is good. I won't give them. I'll give them props. Their wire team is doing their job.
Credit where credit's due. Yeah.
Okay. Again, so he hits him. He doesn't lightsaber him. This guy was about to cut Torbin in half, and you're gonna risk him taking a punch better than you can. Okay.
Yeah, these are not fighters.
And he does.
This is really bad.
Yeah, and so he knocks the lightsaber out of his hand with like some kung fu nonsense, which I would think makes a Wookiee more dangerous. Wouldn't you
Because now he
think?
can just go beast mode. Now he can just
Right.
like go savage.
He doesn't
that
have
would be-
that.
Wookiee, though.
Huh?
Right, it's true. He's not at Wookiee mode. He's possessed by
That's
a bunch
true.
of space witches that don't know about his.
Oh,
knowledge.
that's right. He is space Wookiee possessed.
God, the space witches thing is so stupid.
It's the dumbest thing.
Yep. So he's pitched him now. Okay, and here's where it gets. Okay, I think this is the part where it gets like the maximum dumb.
Choking him out.
Okay, so the witches are singing "I Want to Give the World a Coke." They've got their hands together. They're swaying back and forth.
My
They
God.
are the
You're
ones.
preparing the Coke ad now, huh?
They're the
Yep.
ones that are controlling the Wookiee. Okay, they're the power of many that have forced
power
their
of
way into the
Wookiee.
Wookiee's mind.
The power of Wookiee, the power of one.
Okay. All right. And
That literally
so,
looks like they just started singing and then he started singing. Like you make a joke, but
yeah. Okay. So that's how dumb that gets. Now I got to run real quick and try to find the clip of Trinity jumping.
Oh,
into
gosh.
save
with
the day.
her metal detector. Let's see. Leslye says, "What happened to pulling arms out of their socket?" That's the thing that happens with that's how you know it's like bad fight choreography and bad writing, is that all of this stuff is not on the table and there's no genuine reason for it to not be on the table, especially if like you have control of a Wookiee. You basically have your own Hulk. You're just gonna not have him, rip Soul apart, which is clearly like what is about to happen. It's really, really, really dumb. And I mean, yeah, like because of bad writing, like One Punch said, but this is the level. This is what I didn't understand. This is the level of fight choreography we're getting in this series. Like, yes, like I have to believe at this point that people are just losing their mind over hearing a lightsaber noise, because I've seen way too many people go like, Acolyte's dumb, but that fight in episode 3 or whatever, that was pretty okay. And I'm like, how? You couldn't see anything. The choreography was bad. And then we get to this, and I haven't seen anybody praising it, but I have the same feeling of like, what is going on over there, guys? Does anybody can we please get a show Bible? Can anybody write one of those anymore? I know that the word Bible probably freaks you all out, but somebody needs to do something.
Well, I can't find the clip right now. I'm sorry, guys. But what happens is Trinity from the first episode. This is a flashback. This is back to the way back before everybody started dying, basically. She does the whole crazy Jedi jump, lands on top of the Wookiee, does the whole hand hold. This is you know, force power thing. And you see the witches, they're swaying back and forth, want to give the world a Coke, you know, share a Coke with the world kind of thing. And then she tilts her head, the Jedi mistress, what do you want to call her? She tilts her head like this, and the witches all fall over dead. And the Wookiee, it's like that.
It just, this sounds absolutely terrible. Like, I don't even know what to say. This sounds so
it was big dumb
bad. Like, I can't believe I have to watch this after, now that I know that this is what's coming.
Yep.
But yeah, welcome to Disney Star Wars. This is what you're getting. This is the stuff that, you know, is pulling in record low amounts of people. And again, somebody pointed this out on our Twitter, but it's like, how often, like, Leslye Headland comes out every episode to defend this. Like, have you ever heard of that? Like, a showrunner coming out after every episode to give an interview to run defense for everything? It's pretty bad. What'd you realize, Cider?
So I forgot this part, okay? So this is after everything goes down and the big battle happens. The girls are trapped on a bridge that's collapsing, okay? And Soul is holding up the bridge, and he comes to the decision that he has to choose between them. He has to let one of them go in order to, and of course he chooses Osha. But watch how this goes down for him. All right, and then we'll talk about how dumb this is. All right, so there he is in the middle, and there he is. He's like, I'm using all my power to hold up the bridge. Oh, the bridge is so heavy.
Let's go,
man, this bridge, this stone and metal bridge. Oh, fuck it. Screw this May character. She didn't want to be a Jedi anyway. Eat shit. She doesn't matter. She looked like you. It's okay. There's still you left. There were two, now there's one. It's fantastic.
There's so much dumb there. Why don't they move?
Wait. Let me take you back. Why doesn't he just pick up the kids?
That's what that was going to be my second point, was like, we've seen people push and pull like humans with the Force.
Darth Vader's trick was to pick people up by their throat with the Force.
Like in Ahsoka, we saw, what's her name? Sabine do that full, like, I've got you, Ezra, and like Force push him all the way onto the onto the ship. So why doesn't a supposed Jedi master just do that?
Pick up the kids. Right, and so he's holding up the bridge like a big idiot, and then he's like, screw it, I didn't like May anyway. And he just lets her die.
Kinda.
He just lets her die. It's so stupid. Why didn't she just pick up the kids?
It doesn't, because of drama. Again, that's sort of what we were talking about, right? Like, that's bad writing. There are ways where that could have made sense. Maybe Soul was being pursued. Maybe he was under attack and he didn't have time. But when you're just sitting there, and again, like, my big hang up is the girls were just like, oh, everything's exploding. The bridge is clearly, falling below us. And they're just like, hey, you. Okay, like, no sense of self-preservation, no sense of like, let me run away from the danger. It was just, okay, let's hang out here. We're fine.
They're
like,
child
it's just
actors.
It's
Disney hired child actors.
Yeah, that is what. Yep, everybody heard that. But yeah, I know. I know that's what they are, but it's still just like, okay, Disney, then it's on you to explain to me why I should believe that. And they are not doing a good job of that. Ever.
So, you got him here and he's like, I gotta choose between, I don't want to pay the child support check. So he's just like, I'll take this one. Two's too many. I'll take this one. And then May lives without a scar or anything. Meanwhile, everyone she knows and loves died in that weird witch possession thing that lasted for 5 seconds.
Oh, well.
Like, I don't even understand. So how did they all die? They just got like force feedback from Trinity?
Yeah.
They just
she tilted her head, and that was like snapping
pretty much
their
Nerdikins,
necks.
yeah.
So yeah.
Like, it literally does feel like they just died because.
Yep. Well, they died.
It wasn't because Urza, though. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh, but that's where we're at with the Acolyte. We've arrived at that peak level of stupidity. I believe there's only one episode left that can
There
top
is
it.
only.
I'm curious. There's one
Well, that's what
opportunity to be even more dumb than turning
Well, that's
into
what
a
I was gonna
giant
bring up.
smoke monster
Remember,
to
the
say
whole
everything's okay.
the whole thing for this, the whole log line for this series was it's a murder mystery in Star Wars. You know, they were like, it's a
That
police
was the whole
procedure.
thing. I mean,
That was how they sold this. They were like, it's
Yep.
going to be a murder mystery. It's going to be like CSI in space. You know, you're going to have the Jedi going out and solving like a mystery and being detectives and
a murder mystery
unlocking.
where? It's murder mystery on Tumblr, maybe, but
Well-
No, this was the murder mystery, was who, like, what happened here, and now we know, and it's completely dumb. So what's left to resolve?
But we
Right?
still
Like-
don't know, actually. Because
what's
Oh,
the
no?
left to resolve
existence
is
of
why this was
Smilo,
even made. That's what's
Well-
left to resolve.
the existence of Smilo suggests that there's a Sith, and if there's a Sith Lord running around, then odds are whatever action the Jedi are making is in error because of the Sith manipulating them.
Well, the
That's how this
Jedi are
goes.
evil now, apparently. So
Well, that's true. They are evil. Now, here's the thing: the episode ends with the Jedi taking O.R.C.A away and force wiping her mind, implanting memories in her, and all agreeing to lie about what happened on this planet.
So that's just like cartoonish evil
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
like
so
no
they're not
reason.
Jedi anymore. They're Sith. They've embraced desire, the desire to be powerful and have what they want. Yes. Yep. So they're Sith now. Yep.
This
Yeah.
is so stupid. Like I don't even know what she's even trying to get at.
And that's
at
why
this point.
Torbin had to die, because he didn't say that Soul stabbed the scary demon smoke lady when she was being scary and demonic and smoky.
Or that they attacked first, right? Like the Jedi were just hanging out there. They just said, "Hey, we might want this," and instead of words, they went "smoke monster," which I guess was supposed to be like a hug, according to them. Like,
Apparently, even though the other witches were already singing, so it was some type of confrontation that was starting to build up, or some type of power needed for all of them. Which
Right.
they never said in any of the episodes that the children are linked to the cult in any spiritual, physical, biological manner. Thus, taking them away would kill them. So I don't understand why there would be some type of ritual that caused the atomization of the parents in order to allow the Jedi to take those kids away.
it's just
I-
they're Leslye Headland is trying way too hard to put in every virtue signaling topic she can, that it all falls apart, because again, you can't show bad guys being completely bad guys if you're trying to show the good guys being evil. Like, it doesn't work. So it just becomes this mess of, oh, this one episode is going to be about this next episode is going to be about this. It might not necessarily flow together or make sense, but that's the message of this episode. And it's like, well, then why do I watch any of them? Why wouldn't I just pick that one out if I was that interested, which I wouldn't be anyway, but you guys know what I mean? Like, this is what gets me. We got one episode left. This was their big like Hail Mary. This was the first thing they made since like Obi-Wan completely, like, or like Ahsoka pooped its pants. And then this is the only thing that's going to be out until we get the Mando movie or the Rey movie, whichever one comes first. Like, I've never seen anything so like a company so completely cooked and not sort of cognizant of it. Like, it's just so, yeah, Leslye, there's no way this can get a second season.
Hold on.
Oh
Hold
no.
on. Boom Studios. Go ahead.
If it gets a second season, then you could thank the Fujoshis for it.
It's not so much them, it's the bankrollers that are making money. As Volume Dealer pointed out here, he said the
Yeah,
funniest
I was
comment
gonna
I saw
highlight
in
that
this
one.
episode was, say it with me, folks, money laundering. And,
180 million. Where is it going? Where is
Not
it
into
going?
the
Into
plot.
Leslie's pocket.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
it's
say
going
her
into-
pocket.
I'd
Going
say
into a lot
into
of
the-
pockets.
Yeah.
And this
Like,
is where we're at.
It's got to be money laundering. That is 100% my take.
And so this is where we're at with the series, is that we have now come to a point where the lead actress is not in 2 episodes of an 8-episode season. So that's a third of the season that she's not a part of. Quarter of the
Man.
season that she's not a part of. Yeah, third. Or, whatever. I'm not good at math.
Yeah, no,
Anyway.
it's
So the thing is that it's strange. Don't get me wrong, but they've had that this involved two flashback episodes out of 8 episodes. What are you doing? What are you doing? We got to do 2 flashback episodes out of 8 episodes. You're going too hard, too fast, too much. Dial it back.
Yeah,
And so
they're
they're-
trying too hard.
They're trying
Right.
to be Quentin Tarantino, but make it
Pretty
Star Wars.
much.
Right, and this is it breaks Star Wars to begin with all the things that she's doing. But the bigger problem is, and I think people would be more forgiving with this, is if she slowed the story down. It is in overdrive in high gear going downhill, and it's just there's too much information being hurled at you in order to grasp what's meant to be happening here. Like, I'll remind you, 6 episodes ago, the Jedi simply showed up because they were getting like major negativity signals coming from this planet and they didn't know witches were here. They didn't know anything. Over the course of 6 episodes, Leslye has decided the Jedi were going to lie about murder. That's a little too fast. That's a little too fast to take people who arrived here to save children to one of them just saying, screw it, I'll let a kid die.
Right. Well, it's the same
It's a
thing with
bit
with the
fast.
Smilo Ren like thirsting, right? Like you could make a story that plays into Stockholm syndrome, but Stockholm syndrome takes more than 1 hour to kick in. So for her to like go, oh, I watched you kill everybody, take a nap, wake up, oh, I'm super into you. It just feels like we missed 900 steps here because you wanted to just get to that point. You needed to put that into your series that they were romantic lovers for some reason. So
Leslye would like to remind us that before the Mando
gonna
movie
ask
and
that.
Rey, it's Skeleton Crew that's coming out.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that was in production still. Like I haven't heard anything about it. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying I'm wrong, but I'm like, dude,
Disney's
where's
not
it
talking
been?
about it. That's the other.
Yeah.
Which
I
much
mean,
like the
why would they?
Thunderbolts, well, we know why. It's because they haven't started anything on it, and you're going to hear probably the next couple of weeks that
Like
no, there will
Blade.
be no Skeleton Crew this year. It's got to be delayed along with Captain America: Brave New World.
Oh man, that would be. I would laugh so hard. I might just like laugh myself into an insane asylum if they delay Captain America again. That's going to be fantastic.
James Gunn has really kind of like upped the ante with the Superman behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah,
They
really
showed
did.
a video of Superman landing with a wire team assistance, and there's Starman playing in the background of the scene while he's greeted by children.
Children, it's the best little scene.
Yeah.
It's
And
so good.
Captain America has been put on watch. Let's put it that way. They are sweating bullets now, much like Ubisoft. Remember these jerks?
Yeah.
Yes,
So this is from a little earlier. I didn't see where we had coverage of the new thing just yet.
No, we did not. So yeah, no, walk us through this because this is fantastic. The video blew up on YouTube. I was super stoked on that. So yeah, walk us through.
So the situation is that there is a group in Japan that are a group of historical reenactors called the Sekigahara Rifle Corps. And what they do, much like the Civil War reenactors and the Revolutionary War reenactors, is they go out and they participate in period reenactment events that are meant to be educational for the area. Under Japanese law, this allows them copyright control over their usage of these historic flags, meaning they're allowed to like sell refreshments at the event, perhaps sell merchandise related to it, this sort of thing. And so Ubisoft came in and in their concept art created a bunch of images that were made with photography borrowed from the Sekigahara Rifle Corps' reenactment events. And so Ubisoft came out and
they just Googled like Japanese like army flag or something, and that's what came up. Like there's we care so much about other cultures and diversity, but for our non-Japanese game, let's just Google everything. That's fine.
Oh, and they put Chinese lettering in the game.
What?
Yes,
they did.
Yep.
And
There's
they
Chinese
put
lettering.
Chinese architecture in the game too.
Yeah.
I knew the architecture. I didn't know the writing. I also saw there's a scene in one of the trailers. There's a scene in one of the trailers where Yasuke's writing and he unfurls the scroll this way and he writes top down. It's like, nope. That's not how we do things. This is completely wrong.
Yep. Well, and again, he's so what I'm trying to find it, but I can't at the moment. I just gotta love Twitter right now. So the what they have is that they have a concept art book that they're putting out with a collector's edition. And so what
Yes.
Ubisoft Japan said, I'm just give me a second here. Nerdigan sent it to me a little while ago.
But they also
It's in the Slack.
But
Yeah.
the only thing that I'm not sure of though is Dark Horse Comics is releasing an art book too. I don't know if that art is going to be in that art book or not.
That's a really
So,
good point. Yeah,
here's
we'll
what-
get to that.
Here's what Ubisoft
I
Japan
didn't
had
even
to
think
say
about that.
about this. All right. So this isn't Ubisoft proper. This is the Japanese account that does not represent, well, it does represent the West, but it does not communicate with the West. It's exclusively for a Japan posting.
And they're not buying it.
And so what Ubisoft Japan said is they said, we have received notice that 2 pieces of concept art previously released for Assassin's Creed Shadows use the flag of the Sekigahara Battlefield Hospitality Union, aka Sekigahara Rifle Corps, without permission. The group, being Ubisoft, was given the opportunity to apologize, and the Rifle Corps accepted that apology. The art in question will not be used or distributed in any further use beyond this date, except for being included in an art book in the collector's edition. We deeply apologize for this matter. Did you hear that? It's real quick at the last there. Let's just go back. This is, except for being included in the art book in the collector's edition. They're going to charge you premium rates
So weird.
for stolen copyright material.
Why wouldn't they? The game's not close to being out. Like, you can't make the change. This is so bizarre. I don't understand
Because
why they
screw
won't do it.
Japan. They just hate
Pretty
Japan.
much. No.
They
Oh yeah. No.
just-
Pretty much.
Just hate Japan.
This
Yeah.
wouldn't happen in any other Assassin's Creed game. Like the
No.
thing that
it
really
didn't.
irritates me the most about all this is I just remember what the Ubisoft CEO said,
There it
that
is.
he stands by his
There
creative
we
team
go.
no matter what, creatively no matter what. I'm like, why not just come out and say, we'll investigate what's going on. Let's get to the bottom of this, see what's happening.
Because he
So take-
doesn't care. All he sees is money coming in and goes, great, do whatever the hell you want. I'm making millions of dollars. Like the Ubisoft CEO is notorious for like, I'm going to pull in all my bonuses. I'm going to cut jobs this year. Oh yeah, we can't pay raises this year, but I'm going to take home like 40 million in profit. Like he is like one of the worst types of examples of those people.
So right here, okay, take a look at this. This person went through and isolated all of the historical photo
This is so bad.
and reenactment scene photos used that were photo bashed
Wow.
into the concept art for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So Ubisoft couldn't pay an artist
Wow.
to do this. So they went on to Google and ripped things out of the Google search and jammed it into a crappy, I'm going to guess AI generated background. I work with AI every day. I'm going to
It
guess
feels
that that's
like
an
it.
AI
It feels
generated
like it.
background. And that's what happened is they just photo bashed them in there. You could see it right here. This is not a repainting. It's not someone trying to transfer
No.
what they saw. This is deliberately photo bashed in here, pixel for pixel.
It's crazy. Like the one in the bottom right of the old man fixing the umbrella, like that one for some reason is the one that's like they went 1-to-1. It's literally that. Like it's the
Yeah.
same hand pose, sitting in the same place, like just bizarre.
It's wild.
Well, I'll attract your attention to the guy that has the shit on his back. There it is down here. The guy with the shit on his back. He's got the hay on his back, carrying it right over here.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
These
No.
are kind of tiny, but there's the umbrella. 1-for-1, the umbrella. They just changed the color grading on the umbrella.
My
That's so
God.
bad.
That's it. Every
welcome
aspect
to
of
the
Japanese,
effort. Yeah.
every
Yeah.
aspect of Japanese life has been photo bashed into this picture.
This is wild.
Are those I even have to ask, like I'm obviously you know more than I would, Cider, but like those all can't be in the same period, right? Like I feel like they just went feudal
No.
Japan.
As
And
this
it's like-
user right here shows us with more clarity, these are some of these here, right? Like we talked about the man with hay on his back being right
Yeah.
here. We see these two men walking together right down here. Well, here they are over here. We see these two men right here that are walking together. Well, here they demonstrated right over here. So you see him standing right here with his head turned. That's these two guys right here.
Yup.
So again, what this is these don't have to be like they've already demonstrated that they'll put Chinese language into this on accident, Chinese characters into this, language characters into this. They'll put Chinese architecture, and also they'll just steal your stuff. So they don't care if it's the right era or not. So to answer your question, no. I would guarantee you that umbrella says something about like the 70s and free love and get yourself a Coca-Cola at the corner store. You know, that's what that says. I would guarantee you that any number of these reenactments are all taking place on a movie set. That's like Rurouni Kenshin and
yes,
Ninja
oh my gosh.
Scroll. And so I guarantee you that like these iStock photos are from like movie sets and all this other jazz. And as the Japanese go through and look at this, you will probably find like a photograph of these two guys right here. Right, they're pulling the wagon and everything. You'll probably find a photograph that they just bashed in there because that's what they did with the umbrella. And that's what it is.
Like people are trying to get, or I should say, the anti-AI brigade have been going in on everyone that uses AI.
I know. Well, even people who don't use AI.
I'm going to be waiting to see if they're going to go in on them for this. But like something I saw, one user in the QRT's point had, they're like, concept, you're not going to get rid of the concept art for distribution. I have it right here. And he had images of the concept art, like all the files and stuff like that. So it's not going away. And then, as I said just a few minutes ago, Dark Horse Comics announced that they're releasing an Assassin's Creed Shadows art book. What is that concept art going to be shown in there, or are they going to remove it? I don't think they're going to remove it if it's going to be.
I don't think they're going to remove it. There's no way they're going to remove it.
There's no way. So now the question is this going to put Dark Horse Comics like in legal jeopardy since they're using
position?
I would imagine it probably boils down to Ubisoft more than them, but
that's a 1-to-1.
Wow.
They just
holy
ripped
shit!
That guy.
They just took the tail cover off. That's all they did.
Oh my god.
That is blatant and loud right there.
This is so bonkers to me. Like they're not even so like there is I will put one asterisk here and it's not even an asterisk. I'll explain myself. So when you're doing art, like if you're drawing and stuff, it is not uncommon for a lot of artists to go grab things in Photoshop and like stick them together and be like, what am I looking at here? Like, is this it? It is. But the thing is, they don't just go, all right, that's it, let's go. They'll change it. They'll do it in their style. They don't just take like the folds on the flag it's curving in the same way from the wind. It's absolutely just so blatant.
Well, I mean, Spencer, you remember the images from Jeremy on the mangaka of the Kengan series, because he does AI art.
Yes.
Like he broke it down for us on like and he does it on Twitter all the time. He shows you like how he incorporates the AI, like what images he uses and fuses it into his art style. He doesn't like just blatantly like steal images and put it in his art like this. Like this is
he has integrity.
This is literally what artists like flip out about. This is literally it. Like they worry all the time that AI is going to take over. This is like the embodiment of it, and no one's talking about it.
So this is
No, keep going.
This is what you're looking at right here is another piece of concept art. Like we saw the flag man, right? So now we've seen the tassels that were also stolen from the photo.
Jeez.
But however, I want to attract your attention to the zoomed in Google Maps photo. Okay. What you notice here is that road has guardrails. Like you can't see it because the picture's smaller for you than it is for me.
Yeah.
But there's guardrails there, and on that road, there's a black car.
That's really bad.
So apparently, Yasuke is going to ghost ride the whip. All right, so just be ready, guys. Yasuke is going to
Look,
ghost ride.
I was gonna say this earlier when we were talking about Suicide Squad Isekai, but we need more series where it's, or like things where it's modern thing in like feudal, ancient European or like Japan times. We need more of this.
Ye olde times. Yep. Yep. So there you go.
Like,
Well, you're gonna
have you seen that Game Cider? There's a game coming out where it's like, gosh, I think it's called like Kingmaker or something, where it's an isekai game where you are teleported onto the battlefields of medieval Europe, but in your pickup truck with your guns. So you just like mow
that's
down.
right. Yeah.
I can't wait.
It looks like real world, totally real battlefield simulators.
Yes. Like I'm genuinely excited for that game. Like I haven't been in a while. So yeah, we need more of that. But so like the thing that I take away from all of this, and it sort of goes back to what Nerdigans was saying at the very beginning of the topic, is that when it comes to Assassin's Creed games, this is such an insult to Japanese. And it's like Cider's saying, like Western developers have a chip about Japanese developers, because all previous games, or like most previous games, especially the ones in the like Xbox One, PS4 generation, those Ubisoft went out of their way to make sure like they were historically accurate, super like respectful, to the point where some of them, I think it's like the one for Origins and I don't know, it's Origins and Odyssey. Origins and Odyssey, their maps are used in like schools and in museums for students and kids to like, you can walk through the streets and see this is authentic. This is what it would have been like to walk around in Greek times. And now they go to Japan and they're just going, whatever. Those idiots don't know. Just grab that. That looks Japanese. That looks Japanese. Who cares? Do it.
It's
like,
so racist.
It is. Well, it is. But we know that they all feel like that. Again, we see it with when video games come out and they crap their pants, when it's a Japanese game versus an American game. We see them lose their minds over anime all the time. Sekiro. I mean, just look at the double standards we can talk about around Smilo Ren, right? Like Leslye Headland came out, and so we know that there was that whole big thirsty scene of Smilo Ren without his shirt off in that episode. Leslye Headland comes out and goes, "Oh no, that was absolutely like necessary. We needed to have that in there." And it's like, okay, let everybody be thirsty, whatever. But if anybody tried that about a female character, not even a completely nude one, if somebody was just like, oh, we gave Spider-Woman her comic accurate costume because it needed to happen for the story, because that's the story, people would lose their minds, right? Like it is all double standard and honestly racism all the way down.
Well, anti-racists are the most racist, let's be real.
Oh yeah, like that's one of my favorite memes is when I'm in a racism competition and my opponent is an anti-racist, and it's like, because like, yeah, they rely on stereotypes more than anybody. Again, my favorite thing that I will never let anybody live down over at Marvel was, it is so racist for Iron Fist to be a white guy practicing kung fu. Like it should be an Asian guy. So then what do? We race swap Danny into a brand new Asian Iron Fist. Well, okay, and now you're saying like this is representation, this is what it means, but you literally just said the kung fu fighting guy has to be Asian. Like that's the only way we will accept it. Like, do you guys listen to yourself? Even with Simu Liu, right? When he was like, oh yeah, Shang-Chi, finally I get to show that Asians can be everything. They can do so much. It's like, you aren't the first one to star in a movie. Go look at Asian cinema, you jackass. Like, get over yourself. You see it all the time, Nerdigans. We could go back like in time to the Adam Sessler G4 days where they would just make segments of haha, the Japanese are stupid. So it is a trend that has not gone away, and it's not going away anytime soon. And I am sad about it because I genuinely don't even have a semblance of an idea of how to get everybody to get over themselves.
I'm sorry, I saw Nintendo trending, but
Nintendo, what are they up to?
Yeah, I can't. It just seems like a lot of people are just talking about Nintendo at the moment. That's
everyone's talking about Nintendo. I get
on the subject of Nintendo, I want to make this note because I ran into this issue and I wasted like an hour writing this article before I found out this news, and I want everybody else to know it because it is like it's relevant. But during the last Nintendo stock meeting, and you'll see some reports going around, Nintendo was asked by an investor, like, hey, I see some very inappropriate uses of your
Oh, I
characters
saw this.
on online. What are you going to be doing about it? And Nintendo basically went back like, yeah, we see that that happens, and we'll do everything we can to protect our copyright. A lot of people, myself included, read that and went, oh, they're doubling down on like fan art. Like they're going to start taking out like, you know, lewd fan artists and stuff. The reality actually is that that situation is specifically concerned with a very famous cosplayer in Japan, a Mario cosplayer, who recently got busted for just sending pictures of his junk to like unsolicited to minors. So that's what they're talking about with that. You know, it's the Japanese politeness and dodging around it. So that's all I wanted to bring up. Nintendo is not coming for our Rule 34, thank goodness, but they are coming for you. Unlike Disney, if you start, you know, messing around with kids.
Like people are so stupid. Like people overreacted over that. I was like, I read it when I read that article from Eurogamer, I think it was. I was like,
yeah,
that didn't seem right.
So in my article, like obviously it's not going to get published because it was completely based on nothing. I even specified that, Nerdigans. I was like, this probably is more of like we're just going to placate our investors and be like, we're doing it, don't worry, because it's like they're not going to sit there and spend all day taking down every piece of fan art all the time. Like it's just it's not a sustainable business practice for any company.
But you know what's funny is you have
even
like
Toho doesn't do that, right? And Toho is notorious for taking down everything.
And you had the antis, or you know, the anti-anime people that can't separate reality from fiction. They were going nuts. They were like, yeah, you pedos are going down. I'm like, stop. It's no, just go outside and touch grass. Like, no, it's not what it is. You're not getting the victory that you think you are. Just stop.
Well,
it won't stop them.
To close out the evening, we do have this. You know, so it might be some good news for some people. For me, I'm a little exhausted. Here we go.
Oh yeah. Immediately demonetized.
It'll get cut out of the stream. Come on, it'll be fine.
Oh man, the Smash Mouth singer died too. Like
yeah, and also that was only the theme song for the first movie. Like they've had other theme songs, so that to me was like, oh, they're banking on the nostalgia. So yeah, we are getting a Shrek 5. It looks like the principal cast of Cameron Diaz, Mike Myers, and Eddie Murphy are coming back. That's all we know right now, but I'm sort of with you, Nerdigans. This doesn't instill me with a lot of hope, especially because I recently went back and I watched Shrek 4 because I realized, like, oh, I haven't seen this. It's really bad. Like, I was like, this is so bad. You shouldn't have made it. You've tarnished the Shrek legacy. So this to me I wish I could be excited about this, but this is just another instance where it's like, yeah, I'm with you, Cider. I'm tired. It's clearly just like oh, you guys remember this, right? Come see the new Shrek movie. You remember it. And it's like, we remember it, but is that the only reason we're tuning into movies nowadays? For a lot of people it is, but it's for most of us, for the regular people, it is not.
I'm actually more excited for the Donkey movie, to be honest.
I don't even know what's happened. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden all of these movies are getting like greenlit. It's so random. I mean, I did answer my own question. I know it's the nostalgia and they can make money off of it.
I know, but like the thing is like the reason why I'm kind of more excited for the Donkey movie than Shrek is because after with what happened with Puss in Boots, The Last Wish,
that was a great movie.
I feel like they could do something really good. Well, obviously with Donkey, you could do something really good too, especially since, you know, there's the stuff with this wifey, dragon wifey, and the kids that's like hasn't been touched.
Right.
So you can do something with that, which just like straight up Shrek 5, I don't know what you can do with that anymore. Like that's why I'm like, yeah,
no, that's a really good point.
You could do something with that.
There's a story to tell there. Yeah. But in Shrek 5, the story is just going to be like Shrek does it again. Like, great.
So
cool.
Look, this is probably why we're getting a Shrek 5. Paramount had to prove that it had some worth, and they have traditionally been the distribution company for Shrek. So this is what we're looking for is Paramount and Skydance have decided to merge And most likely we'll be seeing a
So
lot of product coming out between now and the end of time related to this merger in order for Paramount to justify the price they were asking. At this time,
we're gonna get like a Knuckles season 2 announcement, a Shadow
Yep.
announcement. Like, watch, it's all coming.
Well,
I think
and
wasn't Paramount releasing a bunch of like original content, or am I getting
that's
it mixed up?
probably Skydance's role in all of this is providing.
Well,
that
Paramount's
content.
currently like their original content, Nerdigans, is like the CBS stuff. So it's like the Star Trek shows, like the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff. They have the Nickelodeon catalog. Basically, I know you saw it, Nerdigans. Do you remember the Super Bowl ad from this year where Patrick Stewart throws Arnold and he's like trying to get it on top of the cliff, but he lands short? Fun ad. All of that stuff is like Paramount. So they've got Star Trek.
I know, but the stuff that they announced, the content they announced for in terms of animation recently, I swear it was them. It was like all original content. It wasn't like sequels or anything like that. I can't remember if it was. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Paramount or someone else, but I swear it was Paramount that was announced like the original lineup.
But
no, I haven't heard that. But because like what I've heard lately, I remember I saw something earlier today that made me laugh, and it was while I was, and I can't remember who it was, but I was going through all the trades, so like a Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, and some lady was like, yeah, now I think she was from like Warner Brothers. It was like, yeah, now more than ever, animation is booming. Like this is the time to get into animation. Like it's a whole new medium. We're exploring it. We're really invested. But I was like, okay, you're Warner Brothers. Cartoon Network literally just died under your control. Like there's photos from yesterday being posted by Cartoon Network employees of the signage being removed from the building. Like the studio is gone. And now they're going, oh yeah, we love animation. We're totally getting in on it. I'm like, what are you doing here? What are we doing here? Like, this is so, at some point the corporate speak has to give way to reality. And I'm just like, I'm not going to bet on it because I would have bet it would have happened 900 times already. And I'd be a broke man, but it's got to come at some point. This just can't be sustainable.
Oh, I have the clip of,
oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Here we go. So, continuing our good ideas here. So this is Trinity, Jedi Trinity here, coming in to save Jedi Master Soul's butt.
Indara leaps in, takes the Wookiee down, and hovers her open hand over his temple.
Hovers.
What is that like the assisted listening or whatever?
Yes, the assisted viewing. Yep.
Soul catches his breath. Indara closes her eyes with intense focus.
I want to give the world a Coca-Cola.
It really is that. I don't get it.
While the witches maintain their spell. Her face tense.
Indara
Is
it speaking of Coke? I got Coke Zero.
Her lips and turns her head to one side.
Integrated marketing.
In the common room.
Okay, watch. Listen to what they have to say.
Her face tensed, Indara purses her lips and turns her head to one side. In the common room, the witches all collapse into a lifeless heap.
Thank you for calling.
What is that? Literally, like, I none of this is good writing. None of this makes sense. Like,
nothing
what
makes
was
sense.
that? What the hell was that?
We can't shut it down yet, Spencer. We've got horrible news.
Oh, we have horrible news. What do we have, Cider?
We've got the trailer for the Watchmen animated series. Because that's what we needed, a Watchmen cartoon.
I guess we have to check it out. We do this so you guys don't have to.
Well, technically, you have to because you're here with us. So hit like and subscribe if you like paying too.
Hey, at least this time it's animated.
Share the stream.
I don't know if that helps it.
I actually, we'll talk about it. I don't know if it helps.
Be the world's smartest man.
Oh, this is the what if art style.
Yeah, it's the not quite rotoscoping. It's really, I hate it. Like when I watch What If, I'm like, this is bland.
It's the mocap.
Yeah, mocap. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
For 40 years. Men make a lot of enemies in that time.
Blake was a monster.
We're society's only protection.
Like, I think this looks really bad. I think the
Yeah.
CGI is not good here.
It's like a music video.
No.
Even by like anime standards, Nerdigans, like this is bad CGI.
Protection from who? From themselves.
Oh, he's wearing a gimp hood. Neat. Who watches The Watchmen? You see that?
You gotta make sure you show that. It's all the iconic imagery. Do you remember this scene from the comic, guys?
Wait, who watches The Watchmen?
I know there's no. I don't know what's happening.
Is
there.
that
There's,
AI generated there? Like
who watches the Watchin? The Watchin.
This city is afraid of me. I have seen its true face.
Jesus,
to me-
even JC stuff animation looks better than this. And that's saying
Because
a
it's
lot.
actual. Yeah, again,
I know
this
what
is
it
like the
reminds me
weird
of.
rotoscope stuff, huh?
It reminds me of the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Wow.
That's what the
Deep
art style
cut.
looks like. It looks like the
Holy
Real Adventures of Johnny
crap.
Quest.
Wow. Yes, I
Wow.
see it. That I did not expect that to come up tonight, but yes, I see it. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's bonkers. It's so bad.
Maybe this was a political killing. Or maybe someone's picking off costumed heroes.
I don't
God,
like
the Christian
Rorschach's
Bale
voice.
Batman. I just can't.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say that, Cider. Like the Rorschach voice feels like it's somebody trying too hard to do a silly Christian Bale Batman impression. Like we'll get into it. But like I like Jackie Earle Haley in the Zack Snyder movie. He plays it like reserved, but like stoic. It's different than like
You can
I'm
tell.
really like "Brr."
Yeah, this guy is just like, I need to be the aggressive character.
Yeah,
And
that's literally all the direction.
The
he got.
Rorschach in the movie's like, I know this city's secret face. I've looked upon it, and now it's afraid of me.
They've actually seen stuff, and here he's just like, I want to have seen stuff. Believe me, I've seen stuff.
Well, yeah, believe me. Yeah, right. This is a cosplayer trying to be Rorschach. That's what I get.
I thought I knew how the world was, but then I found out about this gag. I never should have gotten involved.
It just looks so
Edward
bad.
Morgan Blake. Oh no.
Doesn't fit. Waiting for a flash of enlightenment.
I hate this voice.
So bad.
Is that a penis?
It better be accuracy. It is. I think
I don't know if I want to hit
it's
play.
glowing there. It's glowing.
But am I shaped?
Oh no, they blurred it out.
No, they Barbie dolled him.
He's been
Aw.
canned. Yep.
It. I want to know who's behind this.
Jesus, man, is
You-
this like a PS2 game?
Wait a
I have
minute.
to ask.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Me, but am I shaping it? I want to know who's behind this.
This is a PS2 game. That's what
Spoilers.
this is.
It's
Where's-
Ozymandias. What are you doing?
Where's the trigger? That's what it reminds me of Batman. Where's the trigger? Like it's
Well,
all
It
just,
does.
it's
But
all
This
like you
is
guys
so-
remember
this is
Batman
Christian
be Batman.
Bale.
But guys, Ozymandias is the bad guy that did all this shit in the Watchmen thing. Why is he trying? Why is he alone with this person interrogating them for
No,
answers?
I think this is the scene where he hires that guy to try and kill him, and then he like beats him up in the lobby and to
okay.
take his cover, because then he's like, yeah, I don't know what that's about.
It's a joke, but I don't get it.
God, this is like a
Every
a
day,
late
the
era
future.
PS2, early PS3 game.
Oh, you're right. It feels like a Telltale game. That's what it feels like.
It
Yeah!
does, yeah. Even the style, the art style.
A little bit darker. But the past.
It's like the Walking Dead games. That's what it's giving.
Yep, The Walking
so
Dead
lame.
Telltale. Yep.
Keep getting brighter all the time.
Like, do you guys remember
It's too
Batman the
late.
animated series, Justice League Unlimited, Brave and the Bold? Like things that had style and
Character.
weren't just like, yeah, character, style, direction, not just like, oh, make that model and now move it around on the screen.
Like if you
Like-
could do you've watched Hoseki no Kuni, aka Land of the Lustrous, like back in
Yeah.
this came
Oh
out in
yeah, yeah. I
2017.
love Land of the Lustrous.
They
Yeah.
used rotoscope And
They did.
This was Studio Orange's first anime, mind you, and they had like barely any budget to do this. And it is still one of the most beautiful modern animes out there. It's hard
because they still allowed it to get stylized. Like that's what I was looking at in that scene where when Ozymandias is like yelling at the guy, right? Like, who did this? I watched that scene, and before even like Cider and I were talking, I'm like, imagine if this was 2D. You could have an actual like, you could shade his face like really intensely. You could like squirt like small in his eyes, like sharpen up his eyes, you know. There's a lot you can do with that like effect. You could make his like face more detailed, right?
But like if it was like in My Hero Academia art style, if you had Studio Bones do it, because like the first thing that comes to mind is All Might and like how Bones was shaded.
Right, and like they like shade it hard to make him like look really intense. That, you know, like when All Might yells, I go, oh, he's yelling. Here, I'm just like, again, it's two cosplayers filming their favorite scene for YouTube and going, put it up there.
We nailed it.
Be punished, even in the face of Armageddon. I shall not compromise on this.
This is not a video game.
It looks so bad.
It's chapter 1, guys. It's chapter 1.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it.
It's sad that the 2017 anime looks better than this.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Well, I mean, Scooby-Doo's here. He brings it up. I was thinking about the MTV Spider-Man show the entire time looking at this trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hear that, but I also feel like the Spider-Man show was more stylish. It had more to it, right? Like, they didn't go for realism. They made the city was all dark because they didn't have the technology. They made Spider-Man's websuit pattern different than the other like background textures. They put effort into it. This is literally like, again, it's cosplayers going, okay, remember in the book when they do this? Okay, hey Tim, okay, turn over to Adam and say I shout no or whatever. Like that's all it is. It's so, I don't know what that was. It feels bad. Like it feels bad to look at that. Like it feels genuinely bad. And it's sort of, this is sort of where, like I was bringing it up a second ago, but like, remember Batman, the animated series, remember Justice League, remember early Young Justice, remember the like Superman, Batman, Public Enemies film, remember the Justice League, like Doom era of films. DC used to be insanely on top of their animation game. It like, I always used to joke that like, DC doesn't have good live action movies, but they have great animated stuff. Marvel has terrible animated stuff, but they have great movies. That's all sort of muddied now that everything is one big conglomerate grossness, but that's how I sort of used to view it.
Yeah, that's how everyone used to view it.
Yeah, and like so between like this movie and then the recent Crisis on Infinite Earths trilogy that they're producing, like I don't know if anybody's caught those, but those movies, like the current cinematic universe DC has, it's like very poorly animated. Everything feels like a bad Flash cartoon. Nobody has any like detail to them. So in the upcoming the third part that ends out this Crisis trilogy, they are going to be hopping between like their various realities, and in doing so, like they go to like the Batman Beyond world and they get Terry, they go to the Batman the Animated Series world, and it's the actual last appearance of Kevin Conroy. But in these shows or in that film, what am I trying to say here? If I'm doing like a multiverse film and I have all of these other universes that have different art styles, I would pay homage to that, right? If my characters go to the Batman animated series world, they should start looking like the DCAU characters. If they go to the Isekai world, look like that. In these movies, they all condense them into the same current art style. So they erase all of their personality and leave them as essentially just like paper cutout dolls on the screen that sometimes like glide. It's so bad. And I don't know what they're doing over there. I genuinely don't know who's in charge of greenlighting things anymore. Who thinks this looked good? This is sort of what I was getting at from the beginning. I genuinely prefer like Zack Snyder's take over whatever I just saw here. And I admittedly, I do like the Zack Snyder take. It has its problems, but to me, like everything I saw in Zack Snyder's film was way more Watchmen than whatever the hell this is. This is Reddit Watchmen. This is super sanded down, super like, okay, do you want to make a GIF out of it? like this is what that is. I have no excitement for this. I don't even know if I'll watch it. Like, what's the point?
You might
What is
have
the point?
to review it.
I know I probably will have to watch it to talk about it, but I won't be happy about it. All right. I will guarantee you I won't be happy about it.
This is so sad. The state of Western animation is just sad. Because I think this kind of animation style, you said it was used in What If, it's used in X-Men too.
Well, X-Men is weird, Nerdigans. I don't know if you were on when we talked about this, but the X-Men 93 or 97 team straight up came out because, yeah, a lot of that animation looks really CGI, like especially in that first episode. And they came out and they said, oh, no. We hand animated everything. And then we put the models onto the animation. And it's like, what? Why did you do that? I bet the 2D animation looks fantastic. Why did you have to put this weird CGI art style into it?
That's what's happening.
I know.
With Really Op-Air in series 2. They said, we want to CGI, but make it look like the 2D style. It's like, what's the point of doing that? Just animate in the 2D style. Like, it don't make sense. I don't understand why you're doing the CGI in that style. Like, I understand if you want to do digital art, because digital art is a lot easier to do and using software and all that. That's fine, but you could animate it in a 2D style. You don't have to use CGI.
Well, you could also even you can put effort into it, right, Nerdigans? Because like all the animation in the Spider-Verse movies, for example, that's all CGI. But the way they stylize it, the way they, the color choices, the texture choices, all that stuff helps communicate like, oh, it's different. Like it plays into the cartoony aspects. Exactly. And this is just lazy. This is just take us seriously. Like this is a real movie. And it's like, nobody really likes this. This does not look good. It is bad. And it reminds me of in the 90s. So I'm sure everybody here will remember in the 2000s when CGI was like on the rise in movies, Disney straight up said like a mandate. They went into the offices and went, we are done with 2D. Get rid of all of it. We are fully 3D right now. And that's when we got like Meet the Robinsons, Bolt, all that stuff. It didn't work out for them. Like, and they had to go back to 2D. That's why we got like Princess and the Frog and stuff. And that ended up being gangbusters. So this to me is just one more instance of let's milk the IP we have and do it in the cheapest way possible because screw you, you'll buy it. Like somebody out there is going to buy it. Somebody out there is going to think it's the best thing and that'll validate their paychecks. I have no idea. Again, it's so hard to come to a conclusion on all this stuff because human logic fails us. Like you wouldn't think you would greenlight something like this. You wouldn't think you would greenlight something like the Marvels. You would think you wouldn't greenlight something like freaking Joss Whedon Justice League, but it still keeps happening and it continues to happen. And I just genuinely, like I said, something's got to give. I just don't know when or how or what it'll look like. So
I wonder, but the thing I got to wonder though, is if things go well with My Hero Academia and more anime movies and more Japanese content come in.
They don't care. You know this. Like they do not want to acknowledge anime at all. These
I'm saying
if they no.
I'm saying if a flood of anime movies come and take over the theaters, that's going to have to make them realize that.
Perhaps, but I want to direct your attention that they won't let that happen.
Yeah,
the studios themselves will not let that happen. They have to. The Japanese can't distribute their stuff in America. They need vessels here to do so, and so these vessels were not going to allow that to happen. And I want to remind everybody that Godzilla Minus One came to the USA, kicked so much ass that it became the first Japanese film to ever win an award at an American film celebration. Okay, so this is the thing we need to stress. From that point on, the studios didn't immediately cartwheel into the land of the sun and start hucking everything they could find into the movie theater. They didn't do that. In fact, they recoiled away from having anything to do with this guy. He's back in Japan making movies. He's not in the US making all those promises to get him involved with things, gone. Because they're petrified. They can't force the Japanese to go along with the message. Whatever it is about Japan, perhaps it could just be that they're the last homogenous people on the planet, that could be it, that they just will not go with that message. They'll flirt with it, Like you see the cross-dressing characters, you see the yoi, the boy love genre becoming so big in Japan, that sort of thing.
It's always been
They'll
big in
flirt.
Japan, though.
Well,
That's what I was
exactly.
gonna say. Like it's different there because like there's a genuine like we want to make this content. If you want to read it, cool.
Right.
But I'm gonna make this content. Over here, it's like we're gonna make it and we're gonna take your character, like we're gonna take Wolverine and Cyclops, and we're gonna make your characters gay, and you have to like it. And if you don't like it, we're gonna come out and we're gonna call you racist. We're gonna blast you on the internet. We're going to,
Which is
you know,
a
have
step
our
too
actresses.
far
Yeah.
for the humble Japanese who have laws that protect social cohesion.
Yep.
So they don't like that kind of confrontational writing, that kind of in your face attitude. There'd be some of it scattered around, certainly. There's not a 100% culture anywhere.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to point out is that they're not going to let that anime flood in here. It will take a substantial change in Hollywood that will not be triggered by a president, certainly, but it'll take a substantial change in Hollywood to sit down and say, we need this Japanese influence. We need them in the theater so that we can compete against this, so that we can learn what the audience loves about this. See, this is how it works on the same idea as herd immunity. The more you show people a Godzilla movie, the more you'll learn what they like about the Godzilla movie.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say it. So if you keep showing them anime movies, you keep showing them Gundam, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, all this stuff, they'll come out and they'll tell you what they like about it. Then you go back to the drawing board in Hawaii, sure, Hollywood. You go back into Hollywood. They wish Hawaii.
I know. I was gonna say
Hollywood, and you go back and you say, okay, so they want a teen drama with the teen male hero being a good guy that protects his friends and has an awkward romance with the single female character that has more than 2 lines. Got it. And that's you know, that's all they have to do. It's not that hard. That's Fist of the North Star, for God's sake.
That's all they have to do. It is very, again, there is
Kenshiro's
nothing wrong.
not even 19 years old in that, by the way. I think he's 17.
I know he's 17. It sucks.
It blows my mind when you look at that.
I hate reading the
He's
beginning of that
17?
manga every time. I'm like, 17? I'm 30, like 17
is even put to shame by
I know.
Kenshiro.
But
like,
you
know what though? I have to
Go
wonder.
ahead, yeah.
I have to wonder because there is a movement happening with like Guillermo del Toro, and I think it's Chris Miller too. They're trying to like do an animation movement. I have to wonder if they collaborated with like Shinkai and
Well, they have to.
And some of the other big anime directors, if they collaborated with the anime industry, I wonder if that would make a difference.
Well,
If Guillermo del Toro did an anime, everybody would lose their collective minds. That is a moneymaker right there. Like Pacific Rim 1, that was him doing an anime, and then they did 2, and it was awful. But go ahead, Cider.
But I just wanted to say, right, so consider this. Silverhawks, Thundercats, He-Man, like the G.I. Joe cartoon, all done by Japanese animation studios at the behest of Americans, mind you. We have a very strong history with these people that we're just flushing down the toilet because they refuse to go along with our asinine political dynamic.
Like, to sort of drive that point home, notice how it, like, so to sort of bring this all home, like Nerdigans, there's more success happening, and they have to take, it seems like they have to take notice. They have to do something. And Cider, it seems like it's really easy. You don't have to go, oh, we're going to copy everything. But a lot of, you learn, artists take from they get inspiration from all over the place. We indulge in different things because it helps us look at things different, come up with a different way, all that sort of stuff. That is all they would have to do is say, like, yeah, we're taking influences from anime. But the hubris of the like Western entertainment industry of we know better, like we are the arbiters here. They won't do that, to the point where, like, think of when they go, oh yeah, the Tomb Raider anime is coming out, and you go look at it and you're like, this isn't an anime, this is just a cartoon, maybe stylized for like older teenagers and young adults, but this is not an anime. But they're going, no, we are anime now, we are doing anime, we are anime. And it's like, you're not, though. Suicide Squad Isekai is an anime because that's actually from Japan with Japanese creative teams. My Adventures with Superman is not an anime because it is just an American cartoon masquerading with those aesthetics. So it is all ego over there, Nerdigans. They don't want to acknowledge that anybody is doing anything better than them. it terrifies them.
I think the thing is, I think Warner Brothers Japan and Disney Japan are doing something at least and bringing more anime here, whether Hollywood likes it or not. Same with Netflix to an extent, but not as much
to an extent, yeah.
To an extent, but I think it's more so Disney. I know it's crazy that Disney of all people, but yeah, Disney Japan and Warner Brothers Japan are really doing something.
Well, what does Warner Brothers Japan do besides Isekai? I know they've been doing stuff. Do you remember? Just refresh my memory.
They more so license than anything else. So they license JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. They license Record of Ragnarok.
That's right.
But
right,
they mainly license and distribute anime. But
they still pick the winners, yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing it since I think like the 90s. I think it was like early 90s. They've been doing it. It's crazy,
genuinely
right?
Crazy to me. Yeah, genuinely crazy to me. Like you saw my face, I was like, "Oh, what?" I wouldn't have guessed that.
I was surprised to find that out too, because like people were like, I looked it up because people are flipping out about Warner Brothers. This was in relation to Suicide Squad Isekai. They're flipping out saying, "Oh, it's going to be woke." Blah blah blah. I'm like, Warner Brothers has been doing. I know Warner Brothers has been doing it for a while in terms of licensing, but I didn't realize it was that far back.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of people, like we've all done it before in our crew. Like you have to investigate like what things are saying, because that headline is always going to be like, I don't know about that. That seems a little extreme.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with 2.5D seduction. I've been asking my insider, like, what if they know anything about what's going on in terms of the censorship, if there's like Western influence. He's like, no, it's nothing like that.
It's nothing like that. Then what is it? Oh, be transparent.
I can't. Hey, I'm under a NDA in regards to the transparency. There's stuff I know that I cannot talk about. That's in my DM NDA. I can't do it. But
Disappointed!
We're not going to push you, but we are disappointed that you will not give us exclusive scoops. How could you handicap us like this?
Blame my insider. Don't blame me.
Kidding.
He said
We're totally kidding. No,
this is Nerdigans right now.
You can't handle the truth.
You don't know anything about the anime. You don't want to know. I know. She's the secrets.
But I actually am asking one of my contacts who is an animator at Madhouse. I talked to him about the transition into hand drawn to computer animation, and because he's a chief animation director over at Madhouse. So I've been having a conversation with him about that, which has been very fascinating. I mean, because he's brought up Disney into the conversation too. So
of course, but I mean, like that. Even though you can't talk about it, that's sort of what we're talking about. Folks. Nerdigans is like she's got her sources. Ah, gotcha. But like, what I was saying is like, look, this is what we're saying. You're the anime expert, and you have the pedigree to back it up. You're talking to all these creators. You have the info on the DL, so trust you is essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. Like
my stamp of approval.
But yeah, like people are flipping out about like what's been going on with localizations and all that. I'm like, well, you could flip out all you want. Gotta do something about it. I am. But I send it to people in the industry. I said all the tweets I post. I said in regards to like Katrina and the botched localizations, I send it to the people in the industry.
And these are like actual industry people, guys. Like we're not saying like the intern at Toho.
No, this is a
like
director.
Donuts. Like these are like directors. These are like mangaka. Like these are producers. Like she has contacts.
So yeah, they know. And well, in the case of the tweets I'm going to be covering for Bounding, my connection at Aniplex sent it to Wit. So yeah. So
really?
Too. Yeah.
That's how you do it. Just bring it up, let them know that this is happening, and be like, yeah, it's happening. Nobody likes it. We need your help. Like it's out of our control at this point.
You just got to go to the creators. I mean,
right?
Hell,
that's what I mean.
I talked to the Bleach production team. Bleach production team is awesome. Like a lot of these creators, I want to emphasize this, including the chief animation director that I talked to from Madhouse. They love talking to Western fans about this stuff. You just have to reach out to them. They're not like the Western creators who are complete assholes. No, they like talking to Western fans all the time.
What's that, Mark? What's that? Mark Brooks isn't really fun to talk to online because he's too full of himself. What? I'm shocked. But yeah.
Gross.
But or go ahead, Cider.
No, I was just saying gross.
Yeah, very gross. But yeah, with that all said, we are at 2.5 hours. Is there any other topics anybody wanted to hit in particular tonight before we head out of here? Looks like not. Looks like we pretty much hit all the big stories for the week
earlier, but
I know I missed the Bleach conversation. Obviously, more stories were hit before 01 got started in the Majors briefing room. Remember, we do that
Tokyo
now.
Happy Hour.
And Tokyo Happy. Oh, is that you're changing the name? We're actually going to call it that now.
Perfect.
We talk about weeb stuff anyway, so we might as well.
Perfect. So yeah,
shows up, so might as well.
Tokyo Happy Hour is back. We do it an hour before the show actually before 01 starts. It's got a new intro, new everything. It's Nerdigans Insider. So if you are obviously check that out when it is live, but also if you missed those conversations tonight, go check them out in the back. The only other thing I think I would want to hit on, and it's just really brief, we don't even need to really bring anything up. If you guys want to see the full story, go to boundingintocomics.com. But there was a book that was released, or Wizards of the Coast released a book this year, actually just like last week, in honor of the 50th anniversary of Dungeons and Dragons. They released a book that sort of tells the history, has all these unreleased design documents, really like goes into it. But the preface is written by a current D&D designer, and it is all just like, oh yeah, they were all like Gary Gygax and them. They were racist. They were misogynist. They hated people. They were not inclusive. We're so sorry for that.
Is this the one that did the Mexican orcs?
No, that's the guidebook. This is just like a separate like history, like textbook sort of. Obviously same umbrella, same company, same publishing era, so they are intrinsically linked. But yeah, this book comes out and the preface basically says like, yeah, you're going to see these materials. They're all racist. They're all bad. We're really sorry about that. They weren't, it was all a bunch of white men. They weren't progressive enough. But now Dungeons and Dragons is looking to a brighter future. And basically one of the last remaining original like developer for Dungeons and Dragons, Robert J. Kuntz, he developed the Greyhawk modules, Gods, Dragons, and Heroes module. He was the 6th employee at TSR Games when Gary Gygax launched it. He played in all of the prototype sessions for the first game Gary made that would become Dungeons and Dragons. Like, he's been here forever. And so in response to this book, he came out the other day and just lit into Wizards, basically called them disgusting slime, called them out for being afraid of the legacy. You heard me say that quote earlier about them fearing what they didn't make and fearing Gygax and just going on the offensive. The guy is no longer taking it anymore. And I, for one, welcome it because we've seen so much crap happen to D&D over the years, from wheelchair adventurers to Mexican orcs to gay dwarf bakeries. Like, this is something needs to change up there. And I'm glad that at least somebody from a genuine spot of authority, as in being like a creator, is saying something, because we need this. It needs to go. Just get out of here, Dungeons and Dragons. In the book, in that preface, they literally say like, oh yeah, women were never depicted really well in early D&D. And also slavery was treated as just a transaction and not like a societal ill. And I even showed this in the damn article, like from the inception of D&D, they had like goddesses who were super control of everything, who were like big prominent female heroes who controlled all the magic and leveled out justice, sort of like a common writer, like we were talking about earlier. There were modules there's a literal module called the Slave Pits of something. I forget what the name of the place is, but the module description is, you've been abducted by slavers who were pillaging and terrorizing the countryside. You need to fight back against them and free everybody and change the way of life. So again, they're just trying to rewrite history in order to make their narrative the correct one. And it's just, they're full of crap. It needs to end. And I'm just glad that at least one person is still alive to call them out on their crap, even if he is like 80. And I'm very worried he will probably pass before he makes another post.
Time keeps on ticking into the future.
Time keeps on ticking, and for let's see. Scooby says apparently people got fired from Wizards of the Coast recently. Haven't heard that, but now I'm gonna look into it because I would not be surprised. I know the Hasbro's vice president of gaming, so she's in charge of like Magic, Wizards of the Coast, all that stuff. She resigned recently, like in the last like 3 months, because she just did not have a good tenure. So yeah, like we know this, none of this is sustainable. And it's just, it's all about when will it give? How does it give? Just at this point, it's going to come as a surprise because like I said earlier, all logic would have said it happens now or had already happened, and it just hasn't. But yes, I think with that, on the subject of time keeps on ticking, time has kept on ticking. We are at our 2.5 hour mark. We are done with our major topics for tonight. You guys know what's happening with the Acolyte. Unfortunately, I'm sorry you guys had to learn that. You guys know what's going on in the anime world. That's what you come here for. I'm glad you guys were able to hang out with us. It's always a pleasure. As always, before we get out of here, I'm going to go around the horn and let everybody know, or let everybody here, let you know what they've got going on, starting with Cider. Oh, I switched it up. You didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, we do videos on bounding into comics. Check it out. Jacob's been putting up some reviews lately. Those are pretty good. He did a review of Maxine. That is a 3-part, it's the closer of a trilogy, rather, of a slasher movie, 80s revival effort thing. What's happened in the movies, in the series, is that this character, Maxine, wants to be an actress, and in every movie she tries out for, whatever the plot is coming to life for her in real life. And so, well, not in like, you know what I mean? Whatever she's auditioning for is like happening to her. And so the story is culminated with an 80s slasher film that Jacob says is pretty great. So head on over and check that out. He also has a review for the Indian movie, rather, Killer. Kill, or maybe it's just Kill. Anyway, apparently it's really good, so check that out as well. So the other thing is we'll be continuing to cover the decline of Ubisoft and, well, basically Western gaming in general, thanks to all this DEI crap. So feel free to tune in for that as well. And as always, good luck out there.
Yes. First off, I want to say shout out to Cider. He has been killing it over on the YouTube channel lately. Our videos have gone from, 1,000 views, maybe at best, to 14,000, 32,000. He's killing it. It's great. You're the man, Cider. But yes, Jacob apparently loves those movies like X, Maxine, Pearl. Like he's always been talking about. Ever since Pearl came out, he's like, I can't believe this is like a good movie. What's going on? So yeah, I guess that's his recommendation. That's his contribution for tonight's stream. Go watch his review for Maxine and then go watch Maxine. Now we go over to Nerdigans. What do you and Zeno have cooking? That's a weird cadence I said that in, but
yep. What are you cooking?
My dog Kitty is high on cat over here. Okay, stop being cute. You can catch me on my YouTube channel, Nerdigans Zig, where I cover anime and manga every day. On my Patreon, which is patreon.com/PackerGirl, I am starting to do more anime live reactions because, unlike YouTube, I don't have to worry about a copyright strike.
Seriously.
I can have the anime and manga side by side on the screen and give an even better analysis. And I am covering Suicide Squad Isekai, The Elusive Samurai, 2.5D Seduction, and 100 Years Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest. And I have 2.5D Seduction episode 1 up for free, so you can get an idea of how I do my live reactions. The rest of them, you got to pay for them because I spend up to 5 hours a day on each video. It really takes a lot out of me. But anyways,
you do the good work. Like that's the proof, right? Like you do the actual work. You pull up the manga. You go look at this and that. Like I
have it literally side by side.
Cool. You're not just like cool.
Yeah, I have like a depending on the series, I'll have a fan translation, the official translation, and then the anime, and so that I could compare the localization and all that, and if it's censored or not, because especially with 2.5D Seduction, we're dealing with Katrina and 7 Seas Entertainment. So
you know something's gonna pop up, even if it's not immediately. Something's gonna happen. We will have an article, I'm sure, like next week.
Yes, we
about
will.
What's
I
happening?
want to see if because based on the episode 2 preview, it looks like we might have a little bit of a fix going on in terms of the main character Lalisa, in terms of her breastages. So we'll see if that is breastages. We'll see if that's fixed or not. I want to see if it is, because then I can add that into the article.
Right.
But like I do have like the character concept designs are definitely censored and all that. It is bad. But but other than that, you can see my shenanigans over there on Twitter. Where I'm posting a lot of stuff lately.
Yes, you are. You are on top of it. You
I
provide a good service, and people are recognized. I just want to let you know, Nerdigans, like just from my travels in our spheres and talking to other creators and working on stuff, you are making a name for yourself. People know you, so you're doing good. Oh yes, you are.
I've had people tell me I'm leading a movement, and I'm just like, I am.
Yep. I don't know about leading a movement, but I've definitely heard like, oh yeah, we know who she is. She rocks. Like we know she does good work.
Like that's what I've had people tell me that before. Like I'm leading a movement since when?
That's not what I signed up for. I'm just documenting.
She's leading the Bring Back Boobs Better movement. Remember?
Bring Boobs Better.
I am there. Signed up immediately. Why didn't you tell me that?
Well, like I went out like full on activist mode, like back in January or something like that, because I was just so annoyed by all the botched localizations.
Yeah, you did.
With JV Marchi, and also with JV Marchi too. And it's been like nonstop ever since. I thought it was going to stop, but
nailed it.
It hasn't.
It's not going to stop. You're like you have your work cut out for you, my girl. We know you do.
I know. I'd like to be able to at least change my situation. It's kind of hard when it's not I'm trying, but
yeah, you're trying. You're definitely getting there. Things are looking up. I just wanted to be like, yeah, I wanted to let you know that you are doing good work, because other people who aren't us are starting to recognize it.
I'm really happy about that. I'd like to get more recognition.
Well, you're gonna get it, especially because after the stream, everybody who's watching right now and in the replay, they're gonna go to Twitter, they're gonna follow you, they're gonna at least go to your Patreon and check out that first episode of the comparison, because I know you do good work. And I just want to make a note, Nerdigans, like I hate how sensitive the copyright system has gotten lately. Like on my show on Fridays, like at the very end, I do like I play like a 30-second clip from a show, just be like, this is a cool clip, like it was cool to watch. Like
they took you down.
I opened up YouTube yesterday, and like every single stream has like a copyright strike on that thing, whether it's Toho, Warner Brothers, Disney, and I'm just like,
I've gotten a copyright strike for thumbnails before, and it's happened like multiple times. For Darwin's Game, I had to stop covering Darwin's Game because of it. And
I've never heard of thumbnails getting a hit.
That's crazy. I've had it happen to me. I want to say, like, besides Darwin's Game, I've had it happen to me once for Shield Hero, and it hasn't happened since. And then and I had it happen to with Darwin's Game, and I keep telling people are like, well, why aren't you showing on the screen? I'm like, I am not going to deal with the copyright strike unless I'm sponsored and I can be guaranteed that I'm not going to have to deal with it.
Right.
I'm not dealing with it. So that's why I'm starting to consider I might just do my Bleach. I wanted to keep all my Bleach stuff on YouTube, because that's like the first series I started covering.
But if it's impossible for you to do it, then like what else are you going to do? Right. You'll have to.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm probably going to end up doing, I might do something separate for YouTube. But yeah, I'm probably going to have like all my anime live reactions on there. Because if it wasn't for Patreon,
you could do Rumble or X too, like Volume Dealer points out here. You could
I could do Twitter. I have my I put in a thing for subscriptions on Twitter. I'm waiting for that to go through. If that goes through, then I might start doing it for Twitter as well. But I do have paid subscribers for Patreon, so they get priority.
Of course. But yes, no, like that's what I was saying earlier. Set up if you're going to be a content creator, it's probably best to start up like a Ko-Fi or something, because that's the only guaranteed way you will make any slice of amount of money.
Well,
but yes, go follow all of his stuff.
Yeah, go
So
follow.
far, huh?
Please follow me on like obviously my YouTube channel. I got people want me to do more news stories on there. YouTube's out. I'm at war with YouTube's algorithm. It's been like this for
We
apparently
all
for 5
are.
years. No, like I told you, I've had Google YouTube.
Oh,
support
you're talking.
tell me
Yeah.
that.
I know what you're talking about. No, yeah.
YouTube support straight up told me that the algorithm has deliberately suppressed my content. And
Yeah,
people are still surprised that I'm like that I got them to admit it. I don't know if anyone else has,
but they didn't
I
do
got
anything. They didn't do anything. They just said, "Yep, bye."
They won't do it. I keep asking them, and they won't do anything about it. They're like, "You need to do. You could do this, this, and this." I'm like, I can't do that. Otherwise, my video will get taken down.
I know, it's so stupid. I know for all the viewers, we're just beating a dead horse at this point, but for us content creators, we need these moments to be like, I hate YouTube.
Like seriously, YouTube, your algorithm sucks. You've hurt small creators, especially in the past few years. It's really, really sucks. And I've had people, some of my viewers and subscribers tell me that the algorithm has really hit me. So
I believe it. So yeah, like, but that's why we're gonna get everybody going there direct. That's why you're building up your profile on X. I mean, we have Scooby Deuce right here. It says definitely good work from Nerdigan. See a lot of it. It keeps me updated on shiz that's happening. So again, I even find stuff off of you, right? Like I'll be like, oh wow, I should write about that. I don't even know if Nerdigans knew what she hit upon. So like, you are doing good work. Go support her. Do what you guys can to support her. She is the best when it comes to anime, and she clearly knows what she is talking about. And she's got to feed the cat. So we'll make the pity play.
I gotta
like,
get him a new kitty tower. He broke his kitty tower like a couple months ago.
Do you guys want Zeno to suffer like this? I don't think so. I will report all of you to the SCPA if you do not donate right now to Nerdigan's fund.
He's so happy though on his kitty fort though. He's like, what are you talking about?
He's a cat. He'd be happy sitting in the middle of a wrecked car. Like that's just what cats are.
He's just happy on his cardboard with catnip on it. That's what he's doing right now. He's just chilling.
Yes, volume dealer. I should have recognized the phrasing before I said that, but still, my point stands.
Yeah.
All right. Huh?
Oh yeah.
It's a vagina joke.
It is.
Yeah.